3, 2. Oh my God.
Yo, what's up?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the program.
The Airtime Podcast is presented by Van Shoes since 1966.
There's nothing fake about it. Have something to believe in and be yourself. You know what I'm saying?
All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. Today's guest is an up-and-coming killer, destroyer of all terrain, somebody who has that it factor. He's one of my favorites to watch live. I feel like a lot of people can absolutely kill it in the videos and in the mags and stuff, but it's that special ability when you watch them live, when they can just turn it on and you're like, hot damn, this kid he's got it. We got Jack MacDougall in the booth. Thank you so much for coming on. Huge fan for a long time. How you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for having me. Excited.
Thanks for getting off work early.
Yeah, thank you, Double D, for letting me have it off. Fucking respect.
What were you doing today? What was work?
Staining logs, just up there on the ladders, staining.
Staining logs?
Yeah, slow and steady.
I thought you guys were slapping coats like paint. You know what I mean?
I did a little tiny bit of painting today, but the property I'm at is all just big ass beams, sketchy ladder setups, and slap and stain.
Sketchy ladder setup, so you talking 32-foot ladder or 40-foot ladder?
Today we only had to use the 40 once, but it's usually pretty high like that. Yeah, kind of suspect. But that's what we like. Keeps it entertaining.
Nothing worse than getting the 40-foot fully extended, getting to the top, and then you have to like spray, and then you realize that there's 1,000 different fucking bees and wasps.
Spiders, and fucking nightmares. Yeah, that shit sucks.
Yeah, that shit is the worst. How long you been painting?
I thought it was my third summer, but it's actually my fourth. So time's flying. I'm getting experience.
If you need a painter, Jack MacDougall's your dog.
Yeah, for sure. Hit us up. We'll come do whatever you need.
Okay, so we got the coat master in the booth. You've been painting, you said, for 4 years, and you are how old?
I'm 23.
23.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, man,
it's flying by.
Yeah, talented kid. You've been absolutely on the radar of everybody, unless they've been kind of under the rock. Huge fan. Maybe let's start this with, where did Jack grow up?
Yeah, thank you for all the kind words. Where did I grow up? Grand Prairie, Alberta. It's like a small town, like 5 hours north of Edmonton if you're driving. Nice and flat, nice and windy. Not a lot going on.
You grow up snowboarding.
Yeah, I grew up snowboarding.
What age?
I started when I was 6, I think.
6?
Yeah, I started.
That makes sense. It's always the 6-year-olds that are that good when they're 23.
Fair enough. I started when I was 6. I remember it took a long time to like actually get good. The first time I like left the bunny hill, I had like a really bad slam. And what happened? I freaking board slided kinda. I couldn't carve yet, so I just board slided like straight off the run into some trees, stick in the eye. Had to go get some, not quite a surgery, but it like fucked me up for a while. I had a black eye like all of kindergarten, and I was scared of snowboarding for a couple of years. A little bit of a hurdle to get over right when I started, but as soon as I got back on the board, it was fine.
I mean, a stick in the eye is no joke. That seems like almost like you're going to bed at 6 years old and you're having nightmares of the stick piercing through your eyeball.
Dude, through my goggles and into my eye. It was fucked. Like it was so bad, actually.
Through the goggles?
Yeah, because I was like, couldn't slow down at all, so I just skimmed like straight off the track, like off the run, I guess, into the trees, and just like sharp ass branch to the face. And it's like, I'm kind of lucky that I still have an eye. I only have a small little scar here, but it was pretty bad.
Well, cheers to you still having an eye. Yes. I mean, what's that fucking skateboarder? Super good. He's got one eye.
Oh,
I forget his name. Everyone's probably yelling at me right now.
Yeah,
but there's a skateboarder.
I don't even know.
Wicked.
Yeah,
like really good.
That seems like more difficult to have one eye than to be blind, kind of. Like just no depth perception would be fucked.
Yeah, the one eye and skateboarding. You know, you're coming up to a set and you have like, that seems wild to me. Or a rail. I mean, I guess it's like anything. You would just get used to it at one point, or you just be like, this is your new normal.
Yeah.
It's not like
you adjust.
Blinking one eye. It's just like, that's just what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You'd have to press the reset button.
It would be pretty cooked.
That would be bad. So Grand Prairie, home of most likely where they invented my favorite cocktail, the Caesar, which is a big beverage here in Canada, which was invented in
Sure is.
Alberta.
Oh,
and
what?
is-
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
That's sick.
Grand Prairie, how many people are we talking?
I'm not sure what it is like now, but on the sign it says like 60,000. I'm
Oh,
sure.
okay,
I'm sure.
decent.
Yeah, it's not like a tiny town, but there's not a ton going on.
Yeah, that's huge. Where I'm from, 2,000.
Oh, true. Yeah, it's freaking
60 is like massive. You guys have fast food. You guys probably have a movie theater.
Yep, we got that. We got that. Village folk.
Yeah, we're village folk. That's Manitoba for you.
Fucking awesome.
I got a quick question for you. Hometown hero. Everybody's got one. I feel like that's kind of a special thing. Who was your hometown hero in maybe skateboarding, maybe snowboarding, maybe just something else? But who was kind of the kid when you were really young that you looked up to, and why were you a big fan of that individual?
That's actually a good question. I haven't thought about this in a while, but there's definitely some boarders when I was little. Like, there's a couple older homies that were like coaches in the snowboard club I was part of, and they were like doing the most in the way of like putting on like the younger kids, showing us what was sick. And like when I was like little starting snowboarding, I remember the Steve was like super tight jeans almost.
Dang.
Yeah, so a couple homies were just ripping jeans in the cold as fucking like night all the time. Kind of crazy. But yeah, for actual people, there's probably I need to do some Facebook looking for names, maybe.
Do it. Let's bring up one guy that was kind of like your guy when you were, because to me,
Yeah.
there was somebody and his name was Matt Overall, and he was the best skateboarder in town. He was the best snowboarder in town. He had the best pop. He looked super dope. You know what I mean? He was. I'm from an older generation, but he was the one that brought like Forum and Special Blend and Dub and Tech 9 to the hill.
Sick. Yeah, there's a couple Heschers and a couple like super gangster homies, but the guy I was thinking of, his name's Arnold Weeb.
Sick.
Yeah, he was.
Shout outs Arnold.
Shout
Weeb,
out Arnold.
dude.
Shout out Arnold. Freaking Justin Burgess as well, and probably like Donovan Tordoff.
Okay, so like let's get a handful of tricks. What were the standouts for these individuals? Because I feel like when you're a kid, there's always the legend that's kind of riding the park, and at the time you're like, "Fuck, this guy can backside rodeo."
Yeah,
you know what
straight
I
up,
mean?
straight
Like
up.
just so juiced.
For me, the things like I feel like maybe I was too little to even remember like the exact tricks that he was good at, but I can like picture him like laying into some sick presses. And then the other homie Justin was like fucking crazy Tech 9 steel, like gangster as hell, looking sick, super baggy. So that was dope too. Like to see both of that.
I like the Tech 9 and the Hesh. That was like pretty big. You know, is this like 2010 for a reference point?
It probably would be like 2008, like
Yeah.
a little bit before that.
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm.
What videos would have been kind of the starting point?
Yeah, I had some weird videos for my first videos. Like for the first couple years I boarded, I had I remember First Kiss, the Capita video. That was like the first one I saw. And then I had that one and Knockout, like an Alterna Films one. And I kind of just went back and forth on those for years and just like ran out that shit.
First Kiss, Knockout. Who are your favorite parts in those two films?
I didn't actually realize this till lately, but like
TJ Schneider.
kind of killed shit in the Capita video. And I didn't realize it was him the whole time I was growing up. And then I just put it back in. I was like, no way, that guy had all the sick kits. Like the matching kits are so dope. And then JF Fortin, my favorite. And then I loved Seb Toots when I was little. Because, like, I don't know, I like jumps. And when I was little, he was also pretty young, like probably in his teens. And the guy was just on, like, doing back 10 and showing everyone what's up. We like that.
Dude, it used to be called, and a lot of
The
people
Tootsie
don't.
Roll.
Yes,
The Tootsie
shout
Roll.
outs to.
Shout
So
out
if
the
anybody
Tootsie
doesn't
Roll.
know this, which I feel like most people don't know this, Seb Toots was the first person to have a consistent back 10 double. And he would
Yes,
do it
sir.
at every contest, and he was like 13 or 14 years old.
Yeah, he
and
would
it was
lace.
like laced up.
Yeah,
and it was called the
strong.
Tootsie Roll.
Yeah.
And we forgot that.
I don't know if we forgot it so as much as maybe some Americans just didn't accept it. Because
Yeah,
like we should still
totally.
be running the Tootsie Roll. Like
I'm running Tootsie Roll, dude.
I
When I
fuck
see a
with that
back
one.
10 dub, I'm calling it the Tootsie Roll.
Yeah,
I mean,
so sick.
Michael Chuck got his, and it's like hasn't changed. You know,
Yeah.
you do a Michael Chuck, it's a Michael Chuck.
Dude, sometimes when you do a crippler, someone calls it like a frontside Michael Chuck, and you're like, that's a heinous flip, kind
Yeah.
of, you know, like, but he got his respect. We like that.
Yeah, totally.
Mhm.
Little. I mean, he seems like he was a total, just complete savage.
You got to get that guy on the pod.
I do need to get Michael Chuck on the pod.
Mhm.
I've reached out to him before, and he seemed like pretty down. But he also seems like somebody
Mm-hmm.
who's not going to set aside time to do a podcast
Yeah,
because he's
true.
really he's not super involved in snowboarding anymore and stuff, and he's just like family man. I actually saw on Instagram he's having a kid.
Oh, no way. Congrats, Mike.
Yeah, congrats, Michael Chuck, if you tune into this. But
Good for you.
all right, so I got some cue cards here. These are called Let's Get to Know Jack a Little Bit. Were you a troublemaker or a teacher's pet growing up?
A little of both. Like I feel like there's some teachers that were like pretty dope, and if like there's teachers that were not sick, then I would like try to make people laugh and try to stir up a bit of a ruckus. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't do that too much crazy shit in school. I was like towards the end, I was kind of distance learning guy, because obviously there's not much snowboarding in GP. So as soon as I like started competing and stuff, I actually got expelled from school, but like not for anything bad, just because I missed so many days. So then after that, I had to do distance learning, but I didn't really do it. So like I only got my diploma pretty much because of COVID. They just like canceled all the finals and like pushed everyone through. So like
No way.
Yeah, bless up. Pretty nice. Snowboarding and me just being lazy, I just didn't do it.
Love the honesty. Did you ever do like shitty graffiti or like throw eggs at people's houses?
No, I wasn't like that. I wasn't that edgy of a kid, I was just chilling. I was playing it pretty safe. Always scared of getting in trouble.
All right, first concert you've ever been to?
First and only concert was The Offspring.
No way.
Yeah. My mom took me when I was like, I think I was 12, and it was super hot inside, and I got when it's like kind of hot and moist and you get a bloody nose?
No.
That never happened to you?
Dry nose and then it just cracked?
Yeah, yeah.
I had a friend that got bloody noses all the time.
Dude, this shit got so bad that I was in the bathroom. I'm 12 years old at an Offspring concert, and I start like bleeding out of my eyes. Like I was like crying blood. It just looked like a nightmare, and I wasn't in like any pain or anything, but it looked so fucked. And it was fine, but everyone was tripping out about it.
It's like, did you get in the mosh pit, or are you 12 and doing cocaine? Like,
No,
what's going on here?
I was in the stands. just chilling with mom. But it was dope. They sounded pretty good in person.
That's the only concert you've ever been to? Yeah. Damn, that's cool. I mean, you're not missing anything. Like, you don't really seem like a music festival guy to me. So
I don't know, just being close to the city, there's always some cool stuff that I like want to go to, but it's like if you got $500 and the ticket's $200, I should probably just save. keep sledding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's my dog. That's why you on the show. Music you grew up listening to?
A lot of hip hop, a lot of like whatever my older brother downloaded, like Wu-Tang, friggin' a lot of like dirt bike music too. Does that make sense?
Bike?
I don't like shitty rock music.
Cool.
What are like 3 Days Grace and stuff.
Sick. No, that's
I don't know.
down.
I'm trying to think of like names.
Dude, from Grand Prairie. It's
Yeah,
fine.
just like all the redneck shit probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Offspring's the only concert you've been to. I've seen them at the bottom of Bear Mountain, and I was
What?
riding the half pipe, which
That's
to
pretty
anybody
sick.
that like watches old snowboard videos, it's like
You were the snowboard video.
I was in the snowboard video. Offspring's
so
at the bottom
sick.
of Bear Mountain. I was like, dude, it was insane. It was
Noodles
like
and Dexter.
absolute highlight of my life. Favorite subject in school?
Language arts. It's so easy. Like I'm not a math or science guy. I think I finished like social studies and language arts like pretty well in school, but science and math are like arch nemesis. Can't get down with that. My brain doesn't work that way.
Cool.
Yeah.
But like, so reading and writing work.
Yeah, because like I feel like you don't really have to be good at either to make something good, if that makes sense. Like you can kind of just like, if you know some words, you can kind of just like slap them together in a different way than you would if you were being lazy,
My brain does not work like your brain. to people that are good at using words, they're like, hey, just slap them together and you put a paragraph together.
Well,
I'm like, buddy.
I'm not saying I'm good at using words, but I'm like better with that shit than like math.
Did you have a favorite book growing up?
Books.
Were you a book guy at all? Did you read a lot?
Like barely, only if I had to. Like I'll try to pick up a book and I'll get like a couple, like maybe like 100 pages into it, and then I just don't ever pick it up again.
100's not bad.
Yeah, like
That's
I'll
a
like
respectable amount of pages right there.
not in one sit, and I'll probably sit down and read like 3 separate times, and then I'm just like Like say when I get off work, for example, if I'm like, oh, like it's 5, I know that it's gonna be dark at 8. It's like, what can I do in the next 3 hours that's gonna be dope? And then if I like play games or read a book, I just feel like I'm wasting time, if that makes sense, Like I just always want to be doing something.
Yeah, you're more about like things to do rather than sitting down and just being by yourself reading a book by like a creek.
Yeah, like I just feel like I'm wasting time if I'm doing that. Even though like if you think about it, it's probably like a dope time, but it's just not what I wanted to be doing.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I feel like I hover in between the two. One activity, you know, you do like a hike, go snowboarding for the day, you know, but then I love that like wind down time, which a lot of people like the wind down time with like a book.
Yeah, fair enough. That I
Well-
could maybe get into if you formatted it a little differently.
I know, but I'm like book or like charcuterie board, you know what I mean? I'm just like, I'd rather make a tray, you know, a lot of pickles and
Yeah,
meats.
quick muck.
I love a quick muck.
Yeah.
Like spare time for me is like I want to get like a couple little snacks out. I don't know.
Ideally, in a perfect
Ideally,
world.
a couple snacks. You a pickle guy?
Who's not a pickle guy?
I don't think there's lots of people who don't like pickles.
Kind of, it doesn't like make me mad, but it kind of rubs me the wrong way if you don't like pickles, or like so many people don't like mustard. But it just kind of makes me mad when adults like don't like mustard. It's
Same.
like just a little
Hey,
bit. Come on.
hey, cheers to that. I'm like the mayonnaise people.
Like they're the
E-Man
same
hates
people.
mayo, and it's like calm down.
Yeah, like what are you gonna have on your sandwich? Basil?
I just don't think it's that bad. It's kind of like, what's that other bandwagon shit that I can't get behind? Oh, people not liking the word moist because somebody came up with that one time.
Yeah.
That is so annoying.
That's just a funny word.
It always comes up, like you're in a group of like 6 people, and then there's always that one person like, oh yeah, like what's your least favorite word? And everyone's like moist, and you're like, oh, way to jump on the bandwagon.
most common. Yeah, there's so many worse words.
What were you super into as a kid other than snowboarding?
Spider-Man. I really like Spider-Man. Dirt biking. Not that I had a dirt bike. It was just something I always really wanted to do. Spent a lot of time just like watching my brother like fuck around on his. And mountain biking too, I guess. Skateboarding. All these like little things that you can do in a small town. Because like there's not much to do, you know? So you got to just keep busy.
How much of a inspiration was your brother?
Yeah. My older brother was a huge inspiration. Like without being able to like see him like messing around with his friends skateboarding and snowboarding, I definitely wouldn't have started. Like he was like the driving force that made me want to do it and like made me think that it looked cool and stuff. But yeah, without him, I definitely would not be a snowboarder.
Was he like the tough love brother, or did he bring you in?
He was a pretty tough love brother because there's a pretty big age gap. Like I think we're 8 years apart.
You're cramping his style at that point.
Yeah, it's always like I poke my head in his room. He's like, "Get out!" Like, yeah, it's like, okay, I'm sorry. But then once I started to snowboard and like he took me to the hill for the first time together. But like platter lifts, like not quite a T-bar, but like the circle one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's how you get up like the bunny hill at our hill. And like the first time I went snowboarding, I remember we like strapped in together, and then we did like maybe the first 10 feet of the bunny hill together, and then he dipped, and then for the rest of the night I was just like trying to figure out how to get up this platter thing. And it was fucked. I remember like walking up at like 8 p.m. It's dark out. I'm just crying because I can't do it, but whatever. He's like, we're out there. We're getting it. Mm-hmm.
I kind of like the tough love a little bit. My sister was 3 years older than me, almost 4.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, for a long time, was like cramping my style. I mean, I get that there's a way bigger age gap with 10 to 4 years, but there's something about an older sibling when it's like they're in high school and you're like halfway through middle school. It's like,
Oh yeah.
I kind of get it. Like a 17-year-old is very different than a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Where like, now, are you guys close now? Like 23, you said, 10-year
Yeah.
age gap. He's 33. It's like that age gap's not that big. It
It's
doesn't
not-
seem as big.
It's not that big. I think we would be definitely closer if I lived at home. Like nowadays, I'll like call him when I'm like thinking about him, or like call him. Like the other day, I just traded trucks with some guy, and I was real stoked to show him. So I like called him and showed him and stuff. So in some aspects we are, but like we definitely don't spend any time together, just with the distance and stuff. But it'd be nice to go say what up to the guy.
Totally.
He's a good boy.
Definitely, you want to spend as much time with your family as you can. That's what I'm getting to. I'm old now, Jack, so take that as good advice.
Noted.
What job did you think you were going to be doing later on in life when you were like, sitting in high school or whatever? What did you think you would be doing when you were like 25 years old?
My answer's kind of always been the same because I think about this a lot. Actually, I'm like, oh, what would I do? What would I do? And I feel like even like since like elementary school, I always knew that I like wanted to snowboard, but that it was like pretty unlikely that I could just snowboard. So like any kind of job that I could do both is like what I just planned to do. I couldn't figure out a better idea than that.
So, and you said you worked up north, right?
My first job, I think I was like maybe 13, and I started working at a board shop called S3. It's like a chain. Most of them are in Quebec, but then there's like one in Grand Prairie for some reason. But yeah, I worked there from 13 to like 16, I think. And then after that, moved to Calgary, did my snowboarding thing. And then I had a year off of work actually there, where I was just like hanging out snowboarding. And then when I moved to Whistler, that's like when I started really like full-time working all the time, because no one else is going to pay for this shit, you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's crazy when you get a job in Whistler, a lot of the time you get a job under somebody, and at the time you don't realize that you're getting a job under somebody that used to be a pro snowboarder or used to be a snowboarder, like Dave from Paramount Painting, who you work for, who I used to work for.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's fucking sick.
Yeah, everybody used to work for Dave at one point. I mean, he's the best and an incredible boss to work for. If you actually need a summer job, hit up Paramount Painting if you live in the Sea to Sky area. Great boss and somebody who understands snowboarding. So like if you get like a big opportunity, like I need to go to wherever, South America, or he's like,
he's not
that's a
gonna
little
bat an eye.
frustrating, but let's get you down there.
Yeah, exactly. He's always been so good with like, because painting is pretty good with like we don't do any work in the winter, but like when it picks up in springtime, it's like, obviously I still want a board, so every year I kind of end up fucking him over a little bit and be like, Dave, sorry, but like I got to go somewhere. And then he's always pretty cool about it. Like he's like a little bummed, but got to do it.
At least you recognize that you're fucking him over a little bit.
A little bit.
It's just a little bit.
It's like I don't mean to, but I got to.
Hey man, you got to do you. That's the one thing I realized is like, one time I remember I was going to quit my first job and it's like a test almost. Like, you know what I mean? You're a dishwasher and you're 13 to 16 years old. Yeah. And at one point you're like, I don't want to do the dishes anymore. But it's almost like you need to realize at one point that like your time is better spent elsewhere for you to be the best version of yourself or the most happy or whatever. So you need to quit dishwashing, and then your next job, whatever it is, I was laying sewer pipe, and at one point I had to quit that, and it's intimidating, and you're scared to talk to your boss, and he's Portuguese, and he was in a war that you don't even know how. He's like, I've killed people, and you're like, I'm sure you have.
You're
just
kill
like,
me.
totally. Quitting that job was the scariest fucking thing of my entire life. I mean, that guy loved me because I worked my ass off, but like, eventually you're just like, fuck, I gotta keep going with the flow. You know what I mean?
Quitting is definitely scary. The only job I ever like quit fully was dishwashing as well. I had to just walk out one night. I just hated it so bad.
Well, you did the walkout.
Well,
that's dope. Like, I'm fucking out of here.
Okay, well, like I did dishes at Brewhouse and Keg. Keg was better because they had a dishwasher. Brewhouse, you're like scrubbing all this shit like manually, kind of like all the pans. You can't just load them up and put 12 at a time in a dishwasher. You just have to scrub individual each one. And one night I was just like, oh, like I can't do this anymore. I just could not. So I was like, I'm really sorry, but I gotta go. I quit. And
I am 100% giving my firstborn child a dishwashing job when they are like 12 or 13, just as a test for them to realize that they are worth more than that job and that they need to quit.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say shit while they're doing it. I'm going to put them in that trench, and they're going to come home complaining, and then one day they're going to be like, I quit. I'm over this shit. I'll be like, hell yeah.
Hand
First
them a beer.
test passed. Hand them a beer. Totally. 100%. Good job, son.
Yep.
Proud
of that boy.
All right. Favorite video game growing up?
Halo.
Oh, damn. Good pick.
I like Halo.
So you were playing Halo young, because I kind of thought you were going to say Grand Theft Auto. I thought that was more in your...
I like GTA. Like once we get to the newer ones, I think when I was little, I always saw like same thing, Colt playing Halo, and I was like, oh, that shit's crazy. I want to play that.
Halo's sick.
Running around just mucking aliens.
I saw this like kind of crazy meme the other day of video gamers now playing alone with like their headphones on.
Oh yeah, and they're all separated. It's just like sad.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It like hits. It's like like a video of like all the people that grew up in like the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s who played video games, and it was like you invited your homies over, you ordered pizza, and you had a sleepover, and you drank pop, and then you stayed up till 4 a.m. playing whatever game.
Yeah.
And now it's like people are just playing video games by themselves in the dark, and you're like, fuck, that is kind of sad.
I know, you're like thinking about it, you're like, damn, it sucks to split the screen 4 ways and get that tiny screen, but it's way better. than like just being alone.
Split screen Halo, dude, with your homies. That shit was all time.
Yeah. You ever like play two player and like got to split the screen with something so they stop peeking?
Oh no, we never did the peek. We just always could say like, "Hey, you could tell if someone's just
you're like,
stalking
stop
you."
it. Yeah,
You know what I mean? You're like,
You're,
okay, you
looking
know
where
that
you
I'm
can
on the
see.
ridge or whatever.
Yeah, that shit's the worst.
Yeah.
There's just no way to get above it.
Did you ever play James Bond GoldenEye? That's kind of the ultimate. But it's way before your time. But
I never played that one. No, I definitely like seen it, but never played that one.
when I get airtime to a certain level, and we can get like the hangout room,
GoldenEye themed.
well, there's gonna be one that's like I'd like to get a different console for like all the different TVs. So there's an Amp 2 one, a GoldenEye one, a Halo one. You know what I mean? So you only play the best games, but from each one of the different consoles. It's a great fucking idea.
Yeah, that would be dope. Just got to get all the good snowboard games like all playable at once on a bunch of different screens.
Have you tried the new game?
Shredders? Yeah, been playing Shredders. I just got a computer that can like run some games, so it's
what are you gonna give it out of 10? Let's get a review quickly here.
Compared to Infinite Air, you remember that one, like Mark's game?
Yeah, Mark McMouse.
Yeah, like that one was pretty good, but there's just like some shit in it that was so wonky that like made it whack, but the rails were pretty good. So like I don't know. Jumps in Shredders, pretty friggin' good. Rails, little tech, like probably like a solid 7. Like it's not perfect, but it's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, have you played Amp 2, which is over here?
I was looking at that sucker. I actually don't know if I ever played it, but I've seen so many clips. I'm like, damn, that shit looks really sick.
Okay, so jumping in that game, I would give like 8.5, 8.75.
Pretty sick. Like you can control
Rails,
like the axis and stuff.
Yeah, totally. And you can go L or R, and then it pokes whatever grab you're doing the two different ways.
Yeah, okay,
But
that's nice.
Whoever they kind of set up in the green screen room to like figure out how to poke the different grabs, did a really good job. Because
Okay, sick.
if you're gonna poke a tail grab frontside or backside, like whoever did that, like did it like Steve. So if you
laced
do a
it.
backside 7 tail and then press R, you're doing the sickest backside 7 tail.
Pretty
like,
dope, yeah.
And then you can kind of like lightly press the trigger, so you're just tweaking at like a less of a degree, and it's absolutely beautiful.
True.
I love that game.
That's
That's why it's sitting there. Jeremy Jones is on the cover.
No way. I didn't ever know that's Jeremy.
Yeah, that's Jeremy Jones.
That's crazy.
He actually did a really sick switch backside 180 today that I saw on the gram. Really cool. Looked
Friggin'
over his
awesome.
shoulder. Wicked.
We
You got a
like that.
nickname?
My legal name is John.
What the?
Yeah, I think
You're not even Jack. You're John.
I might revert, I think. Yeah, my legal name is John.
No, what up, John?
Yeah, there, John Ross MacDougall.
John Ross MacDougall. Well, where's Jack come in? Is that just a nickname?
Yeah, I think my dad like named me, like just like wrote John or whatever, and then my mom maybe like just didn't really fuck with it and just always called me Jack. But like my dad's dad is John, so like it kind of makes sense. But my mom's always called me Jack, so I'm just Jack.
Yeah, John. We had a long slew of Johns. I think we had 3 generations: John, and then my dad
What?
broke
No
the
way.
chain.
You could have been
with his
John the
brother.
4th.
John the 5th, I think. If my dad was John, I'd be John the 5th.
What? That'd
Yeah,
be
it's kinda
sick.
boss, though.
Yeah, you get full in the name.
What was your first car?
Pontiac Grand Am.
What year?
I think it was a 2000.
Was it red?
It was red.
No way,
It was red,
dude.
Yeah, and then
Every
drove-
school teacher had that car when I was a kid. They all smoked and they were all kind of hot, and you're like, it just
Dude.
it was dope.
I remember I bought that car and it had like 2 really bald tires and then 2 like spare tires on the back. And then I bought it the day before I was supposed to move to Calgary. And then once I get it all like registered and shit. I'm like, oh, I have like these spare tires on still and no money. Like, how do I get tires to leave? And then I went down to the place and like super sketchy mechanic just was like able to sell me 4 separate retreads, like 4 different tires that would fit on the car. So I just put them on and left, and that was like, I think I've only been home like 2 times since. So that was when I was 16. So I guess I haven't seen my mom or family that much since then.
Damn.
But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
You gotta go home.
I know, I gotta go home. Maybe it's been a bit more than 2 times. It's like usually every Christmas.
So you go once a year, kind of?
Yeah.
I was
like,
going once a year when I was your age.
if I had a better car, I'd just like drive back every so often. But if I drive back right now, my shit's gonna explode.
What are you driving now?
I had a Chevy 2500, like a 96 one, the diesel one.
Oh, okay, those are good. That's
Yeah,
a good truck.
But I had some like it was leaking a bunch of oil, and then I looked under it one day because like I'm not a mechanic, I don't really know shit. I just got it to carry the sled, but I looked under it one day kind of recently. I'm like, oh, like the gas tank is totally held on by like this like really shitty old strap, so like no screws or anything, and it was like leaking diesel everywhere. So I was like, kind of scared. Like it was stressing me out for months. So finally last week I traded it, just like straight up traded for this guy, and now I have this little Mazda truck.
Sick.
And it's fine.
Can you put the sled in the back?
I haven't really figured it out yet, but
How big's the box on the old Mazda?
it's pretty much a Ford Ranger, so I think so.
Ford fucking Ranger.
Ford
That
fucking
shit
Ranger.
on the Instagram's popping.
So
Whatever
sick.
that sound
I know.
bite
I
is.
need to make a video with that. Got to jump this thing. It would be awesome.
Oh, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you grew up riding contests. You were a contest kid for a bit there. What the hell happened, and how many rotations did you get to?
Yes, I did contest for a long time. I like really thought that like that's what I was gonna do in snowboarding, and like really wanted to do that in snowboarding. But it just costs a lot of money to like follow that kind of like circuit. Like I come from a spot where there's no ski hill. Like there is a ski hill, but there's no real big jumps and like no real big rails. So every time I want to like go like practice or like get ready for something, I got to take a trip somewhere or like follow whatever like the Canadian team was kind of doing at that time. So like it was fun, but just like really draining like financially. And like when you're 17, 18, obviously like you're not going to work full time to pay for that. So it just came to a point where I was like, frick, like it's just not worth it for me to keep going. So like kind of, I was a bit bummed, but I made the decision to just move to Whistler and kind of like follow filming more, as if you can say that. Like, because when I quit contest, I was like, frick, like I don't even know if I'm going to keep snowboarding right now. Like I should probably just go get a job. Like it seems like the reasonable thing to do. But then I was like one more year, I'll just stay in Whistler, hang out. And then that's when we met like Brocklebank and Kale and Chris and everyone, and they gave us sleds. So kind of like set us back on the right track.
What do you mean gave you sleds?
Yeah, so one day, Brocklebank from Dope, massivest homie in the world probably, he just like came over to my house. Like, I don't even know if he like really like told me he was coming over. I think him and E-Man just showed up, and he gave me a bunch of dope stuff and was like, oh, like you can use the boards or you like use it or don't. Like, I don't really care, whatever, pretty much, which was pretty sick. So I was like, okay, what word? And then a couple months later, we were supposed to do this thing, like maybe shoot some photos for an Airhole catalog or something at someone's house in Alpine. And that was the first time that me and Jaden met Kale, Chris, and Max. Like Kale Stevens, Chris Brown, Max Jenke. And then that was pretty sick because we're all just tripping out. We're like, whoa, these guys are fucking like legends. And then later on that night, they're like, oh yeah, you can, like, we also brought these for you. And like just two like 2004 old sleds is so dope. Like probably the craziest little thing I've ever been given. Not even little, like craziest thing I've ever been given. And like it straight up changed my life. Like without those guys, I'd never really would have thought that it was possible for me to get a sled and like a truck and somehow to move it. And like with them like showing us around and everything, it was pretty crazy. Like really opened my eyes to like, oh, like I can maybe do something with snowboarding still. Like I won't just have to go work in the oil field.
You saw some light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, a little bit of light, a little bit of opportunity, some possibility. It was nice.
I feel like that shit doesn't just happen to anybody. I think that they just saw... I think anybody for that 1 year there where you started kind of jumping around Whistler and you actually got out of the park and you started jumping. I mean, you brought up Max Janke there. You brought up Kale Stevens. I mean, Brocklebank, huge snowboard nerd, knows everything about snowboarding. Yeah. But then you got Max and Kale and Browner to some extent. That those guys have ridden that mountain and around here for so long.
Yeah, they
and
just know everything.
Well, they can also, like, all four of them can spot, like, raw talent. So they all just, like, Brockle coming and dropping off boards at your house, them giving you a snowmobile. People, like, they want you to get to that next stage because they know that you have the fucking it factor we were talking about on the intro, dude. You look fucking amazing on a snowboard.
Thank you, man. Thank
I'm
you.
glad to see that some people gave you some support there so you could keep going because I think at 23 and where you're at, I think that we're still... I hate this analogy, but tip of the iceberg.
Tip of the iceberg, baby. Respect. Thank you.
Tip of the iceberg.
Thank you. No, that actually means a lot. I'm really happy that you said that. Thank you, Jody.
Sometimes I think that I'm like just beginning, but I think that like as long as you're constantly evolving, that's just like that's living a fulfilling life. Like,
Yeah.
you just got to keep being like, okay, what am I into right now? You're into snowboarding.
Mm-hmm.
I like that you looked at it logistically for a minute before you dove back in. You were like, I probably should get a job. But
Yeah.
something inside of you said, like, but I am pretty good at snowboarding and I want to take a shot at this. And it's not like you were just being like naive by being like, I'm going to keep boarding, but I suck. It's like, dude, you're good.
Thank you.
And if you're riding with your homies and you're riding with some contest kids, the Canadian national team, there's definitely some people that I'm assuming saw you snowboard and that were like, yo, Jack, you are really good.
Yeah, there's definitely like, even from back when I was still living at home, like a young kid, there's definitely like so many people just within like the small community of like Grand Prairie snowboarding that like really helped push me to do more contests outside of Grand Prairie and like to leave, go to Calgary, do some little like provincial events and stuff. And like without them, mostly like Drew Rogers, I don't know if you know that homie.
I know the name well.
Yeah, freaking big homie. He did like so much for me growing up and like so much just for like the infrastructure of our little town. Like he was like pretty much running the snowboard club and like doing a bunch of like trying to get new skate parks made and stuff. But him and this woman, Sarah Payson, like those two together were like played a big role in like why I just continued to snowboard and like just ended up doing all these contests and stuff. And definitely I think like without them as well, I like probably wouldn't be out here like still trying to do it. So yeah, thank you guys.
The
Pretty
butterfly effect of doing something small for somebody when you believe in them, it's crazy to see like what that ripple effect is. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you said Drew and that girl, and they just gave you that extra little bit of support in whatever they did. So
Yeah.
you would go to the Calgary contest, and now here you are today, living out like your dream.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, pretty much like
And like, you know, you're landing on the front page of King Snow magazine, and people like, whether it's Mikey Rentz or Mark Sollers or fucking whoever, like your name is enrolled in the snowboard community and already held in like a high regard. And that should mean a lot to somebody that's, you know, just decided to follow their dream. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
kudos
like-
to you.
Fuck, thank you. It's funny to hear it said that way because definitely a lot of the times it feels like you're still just like not really getting anywhere. But like, thank you for that because when you hear, you're like, obviously I'm doing like trying to do something right. So hopefully just keep on trying to get these clips and some nice stuff will happen.
I think like remember just the golden rule of being a good person, and like
Yeah.
it just like whether or not you turn into like a super pro with your name on the board, or you end up painting with like, as long as you're like, as long as you can keep reminding yourself that like being a good person is going to get you to where you want to go.
Yeah, it really does.
In general.
Well, no one likes an asshole.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, sometimes, especially with what we do, like you get stuck in a rut or like you're like shit's just not going your way. It's definitely pretty easy to like just like be short with people. But like everyone's got shit going on. You just can't be doing that.
That's the thing about being a human. Over the age of 15, you really start to get life slapped in the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. No, you get out what you put in to a great extent, I think.
Totally.
Mhm.
And hard work's another great one. You know what I mean? You're working with Dave and you're painting. It's like those little things in a small community get passed along quickly. Like if you're lazy and you don't show up on time and you're not a hard worker, you don't think that those things have like a big impact, but they do.
Yeah, they
because your
definitely do.
reputation is like a huge part of where you end up going in life. If you're known as like a hard worker and somebody who shows up and is like got a great attitude and you have the whole package, like when you're moving to that next step, when people kind of do their homework on you before you get elevated to that next job or whatever, because
Yeah.
people do their due diligence, and then they're gonna be like, damn, that Jack kid, like from everybody, nobody has a bad thing to say. That homie sounds dope. Like let's embrace him into the club. And that doesn't happen when you just burn bridges and like fucking
Yeah.
don't know how to like carry yourself through life.
Definitely not.
I mean, you can hide it for a bit.
Yeah. Like some people are good at hiding it. But
Yeah, I know. That's scary.
yeah.
It's called a psychopath.
Yeah.
If you're a master at hiding all of those things, you're a psychopath.
Yeah, something's up. Something's up, buddy.
Yeah,
It's a
totally.
little suspect.
Yeah, totally. You might have some people in the basement.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Straight up.
You got a cover of King Snow magazine. We touched on it for a second there, but let's take us through this shot. And did that mean a lot to you? You know, cover of a magazine.
Yeah,
dude. Congrats.
Thank you. That was like definitely a like a life goal, I guess, a bucket list, big tick. That actual day was pretty sick. I think it was like last March. Me, Kale Stevens had Sean Carrick. Is it Carrick? Yeah. Sean Carrick was staying at Kale's house, and Kale had let me know that. And I think there was another lady named Ellen Bjors there too, who's like a Sims rider. And I think Sean was like mostly taking photos of her. But Kale was like, oh, you can come out, do some sledding, like just hang out and see what we see. So I'm like, okay, fuck yeah, like I got nothing else to do, and all I really want to do is find people to sled with anyways, so I'm gonna go out with somebody. But ended up going out with them, and then the crew was kind of weird. It was just like Kale, Sean, dope, me, Ellen, Borders, and then like I forget the other people's names, but we were with a bunch of Kale's friends too that like weren't as snowboard like orientated. So we ended up spending like the whole day just like touring around, like looking at stuff, like window shopping. And like obviously that's kind of frustrating. You just see a bunch of stuff you want to jump off of, and like no one else is really down to like do it. So we're like, okay, just keep going. And the end of the day, I'm like trying not to be short with everyone, but I'm like, fuck, I really want to jump off something right now. And then we ended up rolling by. Oh, okay, actually I totally forgot about this. 2 weeks earlier, I was there at that same cliff spot, and I don't know if you saw, but it's in Torgear's part, and I think Judd hit it too, and Stale.
Torgear back 7?
He did the chicane off it.
Oh, okay, I don't know if I have the clip in my head then.
True, but it was like same time. So the 2 weeks before that, the day that I got the cover, we rolled up out there, and I saw Torgear hitting it and Stale, and I just kind of watched. And like they had a homie in a helicopter filming it. It looked all crazy and everything. So I was just tripping out. I was like, God damn, that looks insane. And then we were all like kind of talking together and stuff, and they're like, oh, like we're done if you want to hit it. And I was like, oh, sick, okay, fucking awesome. So Kale dropped me off. I go up, try a cab 5, and like, you ever have it happen when like right when you turn in off your toes, you go from like perpendicular to the slope to like with the slope, and like you can feel your feet aren't tight.
Like your feet are like you're
like
loose.
The buckles like just come loose or something.
Oh yeah, like your heel strap.
Yeah, so I packed like maybe it was like a 4-foot run in or something. So like as soon as you turn, you're like about to jump, and I turned and like my foot was like so loose. I was like, oh fuck, I gotta try. And I go pop like spin the cab 5, like pretty heinous looking, and I made it to my feet. But when I touched the ground, my foot was like so loose that like my back foot just like turned fully sideways and snapped the straps, like the toe and heel straps of the binding. So I was like, oh, like I was fine, but I was just bummed because I couldn't try it again. So I was like, okay, whatever. And then we just hung out. The tour gear, and maybe Judd was like, oh, you can use my board if you want. And I was like, I'm chilling. I'm way bigger than you. I need my own board. But then cut to 2 weeks later, we're there. It's nice out. It's like 6 or 7. We're on our way back to the trucks. I'm like, oh, like, can we stop and can I try to hit it? And then they were down. So took like 2 tries to get the cab 5. And Sean looked at me and was just like, oh, like, it's fine. Congrats, whatever. But the photos are kind of ass. So I was like, oh, like I was pretty bummed. I didn't really want to hit it again. But he's like, the light's good. Like, would you just go do like a front 3 or something? I was like, okay. Okay, anything for a photo. And then I went up, tried the front 3. And like when I took off on the front 3, I felt like I was so close to those rocks. I thought I was going to go right into the wall, but it just ended up landing in a nice spot and it worked out and I was stoked. And then I didn't really think much of it at the time. I just thought that it was like maybe a clip for Instagram or something. And then like 6 or 7 months go by, and then they all surprised me at Brocklebank's house with the cover, and I was freaking out. Pretty crazy.
That's a really
Yeah.
banging cover.
Thank
And
you,
a
man.
great reveal too. You know, you get a bunch of people together that are your peers that you're like that you respect, and then they all give you your first cover.
Yeah, that was pretty freaking
That's
dope.
Like back to the whole like, you know, that sometimes you feel like you're going nowhere in life.
Yeah.
And then 7 months later, thinking that maybe the photographer would send you an Instagram photo, you get the cover of King
Yeah.
Snow. That's huge.
Yeah, because I remember even like I was like, David, what do you think about this photo? You think it could like get used anywhere? And he was like, oh, it's a sick photo. And I was like, fuck, really? Like the way he answered, he just like played it down so bad. I was like, I thought he didn't even like it. I was like pretty bummed. But now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next, we can switch gears a little bit here and go, why did you quit riding rails?
Oh, it's not. I don't know if I've quit riding rails. I just like, ever since I like started watching snowboarding, it's just like never really been something that I like love the look of. Like I've never seen like a rail clip. Obviously, I've seen rail clips that I'm like, damn, that shit's crazy. But I've never seen like a rail clip that really gets me fired up and like makes me want to go hit a rail, you know? But like
Nice.
when I was little and I was watching snowboard clips and like videos on the TV, like all I cared about was watching people jump because it just like looks so cool. It's like, maybe, did I say this before? I don't know. I always really wanted to be a dirt biker when I was little. Like
Sick.
I was just like infatuated with dirt bikes. I never had one, but I just thought that shit was so sick. And like when they hit jumps, it just looks so crazy. But then when I'm watching snowboarding, it's like same thing. Like I just want to see people jump. Like that's what gets me fired up. But I still respect a good rail. And like as a rider, obviously I want to be able to ride everything, but I just don't love the steel as much. And I get a lot of flack for that. People are like, what the fuck? You don't like rails?
No, I think that you articulated that right. Like you like rails and you respect it and you think it's cool.
Yeah.
But for you, what floats your boat
Yes.
and what gets you fucking hyped up is like a 6 switchback 7, and you're like,
Yeah.
that was dope, and they popped and they went big and they landed in the pocket and they like,
buddy laced.
yeah, buddy laced.
Yeah.
Like I'm there for that. I'm gonna be honest right now, and I feel like I'm on a podcast. I'm not trying to burn bridges here or anything like that, but I'm pro jumper. I'm a 60-40 kind of guy.
Yeah. 60-40. I'm like 70-30, I think.
Yeah, I think even more maybe.
Yeah.
I'm like legit 60-40 where I like rails. I would still go on a rail trip.
Yeah.
I'm down, but I just like jumping more.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's
for
what
sure.
happens when you move to the mountains.
Yeah.
You know,
you're pursuing it.
Totally. And you are your environment, you know what I mean? You stay in Minnesota forever.
Yeah. You're gonna be
You know,
road
you're gonna be like, why the hell would this backcountry jumping stuff?
snowmobile.
Yeah, totally. And then you move to Whistler, and then you ride the park for a couple years, and you think you're gonna stay in the park, and then somebody's like, dude, we should go ride some POW.
Yeah.
And then you hit your first step down, and you get a janky half cab, but it feels pretty sick. And then you get used to
Exactly.
riding pillows, and you're like, float. Like when you unlock learning how to ride POW well, that feeling. I
pretty
remember one
sick.
year, it was like 2015. It was just like, I went from not being great at it to like, I was like riding on the resort, and you're just like, I'm just gonna cab 5 off this bump, or
Yeah,
I'm
like, I
just
got
gonna
it.
back 5 or whatever. You just
Yeah.
that unlock is one of the greatest feelings.
For sure. Yeah. Just being comfortable and like knowing what to expect. You're like, yeah, that's the best.
Totally, it is the best feeling. All right, another chapter we should touch on, which was an important one. It went viral, so we'll do it because of the virality. It's probably gonna do good for the show if we talk about the back rodeo. You hit Forum step down. It's a classic. Maybe before we touch on your trick specifically, do you have a favorite trick that was done on the Forum step down before you went to it?
Yeah. I was hoping you'd ask me this. Fucking the JP back 10 with
nice pick.
with the fur hood. He just has like the stee too, and it's flat. Like it doesn't make any sense. And I feel like I don't know if I've seen anyone go bigger. Like he goes like 100 feet on it. It's fucked.
Well, that angle works really well too. The side angle, like a lot of people shoot it from the left. I like it when it's bottom right too. There's a couple good
I don't know if I
shots.
can picture bottom right, like maybe like Ika back's rodeo.
Yeah, Ika back one tail and double decade and switch backside rodeo. But the switchback rodeo is like the landing. You're like, did he land? Like he did, like ultra wheelie, but like
might have touched his back.
yeah, might have touched his back. Ika, did you land it?
Yeah, show us the ride out.
No, that's the editor, dude. It's
yeah,
not
yeah,
like-
yeah.
I feel
That's
like,
above our pay
and
grade.
that
he fucking landed it.
that part was fucking Ika double decade part is holy.
Dude, the whole
smokes.
movie, double decade. Like, I was gonna say, it's
And
one of
you're
my
a jumper,
favorites, but
so-
yeah, like
Yeah.
that's my shit.
The rails in that movie were not brutal, but just like, meh. And then the jumping in that movie is like,
Pretty freaking awesome.
well, nobody's doing it better today.
Yeah, like people go like I swear people go like half the size consistently of like how big people were going.
Maybe less.
Yeah, like definitely less. Even like that clip. Was that you that posted all the solar stuff the other day?
Yeah.
That clip of him doing the cab 5.
Oh,
or
yeah.
something? That one's crazy. It's like 100 feet.
Yeah.
Like at least.
Yeah, that one's big.
But yeah, no one's doing shit like that right now.
There's a couple people. You know what I mean? You got your Sage.
Yeah.
Sage goes big. Ben Ferg goes big.
Ferg.
Red goes big.
Yeah, a couple.
Who else goes big? Torgears hits big shit still.
Yeah.
A couple of the
There's
Beyond
still
Metals
a
guys
couple-
hit a couple big things.
couple quad A strains left.
But there's the big super pros do it, but like the middle of the road boarders are really sticking to the middle of the road.
Yeah. Especially with the street shit. Like so many 50-50s and board slides. I feel like I'm like, just do some tricks. Like pick a shittier feature. Do some tricks. I'd prefer that. That's like what I'm saying. I don't know.
I like this. Keep going.
I don't know what else I got to keep going with, but I don't. Yeah, just
You like tricks.
Yeah, do tricks. No one wants to see a 50-50. I don't care how big the rail is.
I like 50-50s and board slides if they're done on a really unique spot. But if you're just going to a kink that's like every other kink, I would rather see I'd rather you go to a lesser kink and actually get like a switch front board on it or a back lip or something.
Like I'm fine with a couple of 50-50s and a couple board slides, but like if the video is primarily 50-50s and board slides, like fuck that video.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I don't like that.
This is kind of like watching backcountry footage. When I was from Winnipeg, I remember being like, if I see one more back three, front three, cab three, not cab three, cab five. There was like 4 or 5 tricks in the backcountry back then. That's it. It was so redundant. Well, it's just like do other tricks.
It's kind of the same thing now. It's like with the back 7 mute and front 7, it's like, all right, you spice it up a little bit. Like me and Bryn are saying, like, no more back 7s. Like we just way too many. It's just busted. But
there's too many back 7s now that's just like doing anything else.
Well, it's like a free trick. It's like if you can jump and you can back 7 in the park, you can jump and back 7 in the backcountry. That one's like, it's personal preference. Maybe for some people, the front 7's easy like that, but back 7 is a pretty free trick. I would say avoid that. From now on.
Your least favorite backcountry trick is the back 7?
Maybe it's just because I have done so many, but it's like, I got to stop doing that.
Well, totally. And I wouldn't say the back 7 is your staple. So I always advocate, I'm a big advocate, I should say, for keeping your stock tricks and don't lose those because you think they're played. Don't get in your head with that because that's like the one trick you've been learning for your whole career and you're like, you can snap on that thing. You can hit big shit on that thing. Like,
yeah, I'm just a backside guy. Like,
keep that trick. If you're great at back 7s, like just find a natty feature to do it on and it's always dope.
Yeah, take her to 9.
Take her to 9. Yeah. I mean, not a lot of back 9s.
That's a sick one.
Jeremy Jones has a back 9. A long time ago. Belleville has a couple back 9s in the backcountry.
Cicerelli had a good one last year.
Psycho did have a good one.
Yeah, Psycho.
Not a lot of people.
Money making Mike.
Who else has a good back 9? Oh, Kazu Kokobo has one in one of those Union or Capita movie.
Yeah.
Kazu has a back
stronger.
Yeah, back 9 tail over that road gap.
And is it in like? It's like the one that looks like Hurley, but it's not Hurley.
Yes, exactly.
Where is
Great
that
eye.
one?
I don't know.
Because
I wanna say it's in Jackson.
Oh, I fully thought it was around here.
But I don't think it's in Jackson.
Yeah, because for years when I saw that clip, I was like, why does no one hit the Hurley like that? It looks way sicker.
That part is amazing.
Yeah, that part's insane. And like half of it's in like you're going to die like corn snow. Like don't fall.
Yeah, totally. He has a couple front 7s in that where if he would have over-rotated the scorp on that would have been like
groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking scorp. So JP, was one of your favorite tricks on the forum step down. I kind of jotted down a couple here. You know, you got
Jody front 5, another one. That's another one where I think like arguable. Homie might have went one of the top 5 biggest tricks, like distance.
Yeah, there's been a couple big ones. I mean, Mark Soller's front 9 on it is really good.
I don't know if I've seen that. Is that in the Man Boys?
Mark did it twice. He front 9s it in Sandbox and he front 9s it in Child Support.
No way.
He might have even front 9'd it again in a Burton movie.
3 separate of the same one?
It might have chalked up 3 front 9s on that. I'm going to have to look into that.
That's pretty nuts. I know because like it just sits in such a good spot. It's always like pretty good to go. Like this year, so many times I like was out sledding around and like you just don't see anything. She's like, fuck, like should I hit it again? Like, I'm like, I don't know if it's going to go that good this time.
I mean, a first try on it, it's just like, I don't know, maybe you just leave it alone. That's what I did.
Yeah, I should probably
I hit it once. I hit it once and then I tried to front 9 it for a while, which is funny because Mark already did that. But
yeah.
That's what you do when you're young is you replicate tricks, which did you replicate a trick?
Well, when I went there, I really thought and was telling myself for like weeks, like, I'm going to front 10 it. I'm going to front 10 it. I'm going to front 10 it. And then I stood on top of it. I was like, no, I'm not going to front 10 it. Because it just seems like if you fall, you're taking a gnarly scorp, like a big one. So I don't know. Maybe I'd go back. If I went back, I think I'd want to do that. like try one, just Hail Mary, but it would suck to fall.
I don't think it's a Hail Mary. I think I'm
Yeah, like
blown
I'm-
away that people haven't done more front tens on it.
Yeah.
But like to me, it's like when I was trying front nines on it, and I like would land and fall over. It's like
Like the fall's not that bad as long as you don't get a friggin' crazy scorp or like Tommy, you know, like Sushi's
You
back
wanna-
5.
yeah.
That one is insane. Like that looks violent.
The
But
Sushi Suzuki back 5 ragdoll was a top dog ragdoll.
dude, he I swear he grabs his head before he lands. Like he's just like already committed to getting murked. It's like just gotta
I
stick
kind
it
of
out.
do the same.
I'm sorry,
thing.
Sush, but you could have landed that. I think. I'm pretty sure.
Couple more squats.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you do a backside rodeo 7. Indy?
Yeah. Yes. It was
And-
the first one I did with an indie because usually I do nose grab.
You should have done nose grab.
I should have, but I was like, oh, I have so many, not so many, but I can think of like 2 other rodeo nose grabs I had. So I was like, I think indie will be cooler. Because at the time, too, this was really dumb, but I was like, oh, maybe someone hasn't done a back rodeo on it. But like, obviously someone has, and it was Devin, and he did it perfectly. I was like, oh, trapped myself.
And it was Devin.
Yeah. Like,
But here's the saving grace, and I talk about this on the pod a lot, is adding your own flavor. If you're going to go back to a feature, especially a backcountry feature, and you're going to do the same trick as somebody, if you're going to do a frontside 7 melon, but you can't add your own flavor, maybe don't do it.
Yeah.
You add your own, like that poke, it's like,
Thank you, Derek.
I don't want to say it's crail, but it's like, upper on the foot, and then you bone it out as if it was a crail, but it's not a crail.
like a high indie kind
Yeah,
of.
like a high indie thing.
That was just a freaking survival like yank. I remember
The survival yank
yeah.
worked though, because it
Yeah,
added
yeah.
your own flavor. Devin grabs indie a lot lower on the
he
foot
like
there,
looks like an indie,
and
like
it
almost
looks more like an
nose-bony.
indie, where yours looks like a, I don't know what it's called. It looks like a
Yeah.
crail, but you're not grabbing
Sick.
over the front foot.
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
grabbing inside of the front foot.
Sick. Thank you, man.
Yeah, it's
Freaking
very
awesome.
good, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, so you land the backside rodeo, you fly off of this cliff, and you do a backside rodeo 7, and it's first try, and you land. What's going through your head?
Well, okay, wait. Can we go back like before a little bit?
Yes, we
'Cause,
can. Let's go back. Let's rewind.
I'm standing up there. I'm strapping in. I'm about to go. I'm like literally like on the radio, like 3, 2, 1, like about to drop in, and then they're like, wait. Kale is like, cause you know how when you're standing on it, you can see down into the valley like a mile or something, down to like the hill you come down before.
Oh yeah.
Like if you're sledding up. It's Kale like just got there because he was late. Like he's always freaking late, rolling up the parking lot at 12. And we were planning to meet with him anyways that day. And right as I was about to drop, I guess in the clip you could hear him like sledding up. So they're like, oh, like for the audio, just wait for a second if you're about it. I was like, I was so ready to go. Like it was hard for me to just like turn it off for a sec, but I was like, fuck, Kale's coming. I kind of want to see him. I want him to see me eat this much shit because I'm standing up there like, there's no way I'm gonna land. But then once they told me that I had to wait for Kale, I'm like, okay, like just like, because I swear I was like so just committed to just like try, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like really die, but that like couple more breaths just waiting for Kale to pull up, and then I was hyped because I'm like, oh yeah, Kale's gonna see me eat shit. Then once he got there and once he was ready to go, I didn't have any fear. I was just like ready to fall, and then it took off. And it felt like I didn't really get the pop either, because if you see in the video, I kind of like pull on my board, and it felt like I wasn't spinning. But then once you like spot the landing, you're like, oh my God, you have so much time. And I don't know that this has ever happened to you before, but you know when you're in the air and you know that there's like some amount of powder below you, you're like, oh, it's like it can't be hard, you know? But it looks like it's going to be really hard. Like from spotting the landing in the air, it looked like it was going to just be so firm. And when I touched finally, it's like just matched up all nice, like nicer than I thought. So it's nice that it worked out. But yeah, it's just all those things I think had to happen, or else I would have just Tommy down it.
Well, you put the landing gear down like a champ.
Yeah, thank you, Derek.
Yeah, that was a good land.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like you were saying, like coming around and spotting your landing. If you're the first one to go, were you hitting that alone?
I know. I was just about to say I was hitting it with Colton Conway, and it was kind of fucked up too, because when we were building it for Coco. Like I wasn't even gonna hit it really. I was just like maybe gonna hit it if he landed first, then I'd hit it. But I forgot what trick he was gonna try.
Switchback 5.
Well, because after that, he tried a switchback 1, a switchback 3, a switchback 5, and a couple of them, and he was close every time. But the only reason that I ended up going first was because Seber was filming, and he was like, "Oh, like we got to do the Rochambeau, like the rock paper scissors kind of stupid thing." And then we did it, and I just ended up winning. So I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm sorry, Coco, but I'm definitely hitting it." And then I hit it, and it was fine. But I think Coco still got to hit it like 5 times, because I like almost wanted to hit it again, but now I'm glad I didn't. I was wait till I need to do something on it, I guess.
I think that's a great play. You land a backside rodeo 7 on it first try. It's like, what are you going to do that's going to be better than that?
Yeah, it's like, let's get Coco clipped right now.
Totally.
Uh-huh.
And I kind of like that approach, that if you're hitting a jump or a feature with somebody, that if you get the clip, you kind of tap yourself out and then they get a clip. And if you're spinning left, then maybe they spin right or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Coco going switch backside on that makes sense.
Yeah, it ended up working pretty good. And I don't know, I like sledding with Coco. He's a good boy.
Yeah, totally. I mean, he's a really good snowboarder. I feel like he hasn't, like, his whole, like, it hasn't all clicked for him one day where he hasn't
clicked.
He's going to get the unlock one day where it's like, you know, like you build the right step down and he gets this perfect switchback 5 on it. And he's going to be like, oh. And then he's going to go, like, because he is a very talented snowboarder.
And he works, like, just as hard, if not harder than, like, the vast majority of people trying to sled and snowboard out there. Like, I don't know. He's putting his all into it. And I really do hope that it does click for him soon, because he's fucking good. And he deserves the shine, baby. My Disney XD boy.
Well, this kind of leads us into your now team manager, who has also hit the Forum step down, Peter Line. You just signed with Forum Snowboards, which is absolutely incredible. Congrats, boss.
Thank you.
Cheers. Cheers to that.
Thank you.
I'll let you kind of take us through signing with Forum, but I will add that, like, to anybody who's new or younger, signing with Forum and getting a call from Peter Line is like, I don't know, like, that's like Dr. Dre calling you or something crazy. Like, that's an amazing moment in your life. So there's another thing, not only the cover, but you got a phone call from Peter Line. So take us through that.
Yeah, that was pretty freaking surreal, because, like, I don't know, growing up, obviously, like, every time I put them on, I was fucking hyped, because that's what they did, is just go big. And, like, it sucked when Burton or whatever and, like, the plug got pulled on all that stuff when we were little, and they just announced that they weren't going to do it anymore. But yeah, as soon as, like, a couple of years ago, as soon as they said they were doing it again and they were, like, looking to make a list of people that were on it, I was like, fuck, like, hope that somehow I can get, like, on that list or something. But yeah, so this last winter, me and Bryn were just on a trip in Utah, and then one night Peter just I forget if he texted me or if he DM'd me or something, but he was like, "Yo, is this you?" And then sent my number. He's like, "Is it okay if I call you?" And I was like, "What? Call me?" Like, of course, man. Do whatever you want. Pretty sick. And yeah, he just called me. He was super nice. I remember, like, shaking, waiting for his call, because I'm like, "What the fuck, Peter Line? What does he want to talk about?" But then he just asked if I would be down to maybe run some Forum stuff for next year, and like I don't know, it just, like, besides the point of that, like, I feel like just for snowboarding for, like, the past, like, 20 years, no, I guess, like, 18 years, and, like, all of, like, me and my friends are trying to get it. Everyone that I'm, like, surrounded with is pretty freaking good at snowboarding. I feel like no one that recently that I know of in, like, Canada has been, like, kind of put on by any American company, like, to any extent. So just for him to, like, reach out and ask me himself, like, really did mean a lot to me, and, like, got me pretty, like, instantly fired up. I was like, fuck, like, how can I turn it down, you know? And, like, yeah, I don't know. It's not like I'm, like, rich or anything. I'm just getting a little bit of something, and I'm just fucking hyped to try to do what I can for them and hopefully, like, help build it back up to what it was, or, like, if that makes sense.
Totally.
Like, I don't know. I just want to fucking do right by those guys, like, represent.
That's the exact approach you should have going into this, because, I mean, it's not every day that someone gets a call by Peter Line. It's also that company, if you put your all into it, it's just kind of like that's the way it was back in the day. Like, if you were on the Forum 8 team, like, you kind of knew when you got signed and brought on to Forum that there's a certain tier you're kind of expected to ride at. Like, you're not trying to, like, I'm not imagining Peter's, like, trying to force you to do anything, because that's like doesn't seem like it's in his
no, it doesn't
personality
seem like his
or anything. It seems like he's just going to be relaxed with it. But he is somebody who will definitely recognize that if you're kind of foot on the gas and taking it serious and willing to put the work in, because he's been that guy. Well, he was that guy.
Didn't he like put together the Forum 8?
Yeah, he started Forum.
Yeah, okay, exactly. So like pretty insane.
Oh, he knows. So like he not only can recognize like pure raw talent, he also can recognize if somebody's like marketable, if they're a match. And so for him to pick you is like super rad, that they were looking beyond just the Utah borders to get like a kid.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, he sees you tee up that back rodeo and stuff like that. Like, to him, he grew up in the era of like go big, go home, innovation, progression.
Yeah, like
and
do something different.
He invented that. Like Peter Line from like 1994 to like 2001 changed the game forever. He was playing around with the rodeo.
Invented the rodeo.
Yeah.
Well, arguably.
One
like
of them, for sure.
Rodeo, fucking.
He definitely, and he perfected it, for sure. I feel like there's a debate between a bunch of old heads about who, but Peter Line to me was the one who did it best, did it consistently, won contests, took it to the backcountry, turned it 5-7, etc. Like,
kept it going.
Yeah, Peter Line, man, he's like one of the greatest snowboarders to ever snowboard ever. And that's like not even a debate, you know, top 5 for everybody. And what he's done for snowboarding and everything, it's just, it gets me so excited to see you in this booth with a Forum hoodie, hoping that they do it proper, you know, hopefully that they do you proper, hopefully that they, you know, launch everything and they get everything moving where they need it to be. Yeah. Because there was a lot of Canadian, like Chris Duffy, you know what I mean?
Dude, do you know Chris Duffy?
Oh, yeah.
He's another one of my faves. I really like that guy. Bestie. Probably the best wildcat ever done.
Oh, yeah. He has the wildcat where he grabs Indy and he pokes it, and it's actually a trick. And they're like everybody else who does a backflip. Like, man, there is way too many people flipping with bad style, acting like,
yeah,
dude,
I know what
calm
you mean.
down.
But you know what was crazy was, do you see those clips that he posted, like Chris this year boarding?
Oh, yeah.
Wildcat was just still like freaking money, like so sick, just like how it was in Knockout.
Oh, off the toes, like just old school pop style, like
upside down, 360 degrees of rotation.
Oh yeah, Duff, man, I don't have it. I can't. Yeah, Duffy gave me his helmet at Camp of Champions.
What? You still got it?
No, I idiot.
Hoser move.
Peter Line gave me a Forum board at Camp of Champions too.
What?
I won
Sick.
Forum Youngbloods there.
No
Peter
way.
Line decked me out in Foursquare gear. I got a Peter Line board. I got Chris Duffy's helmet.
Nice. You have the channel or some inserts?
I think that was when they started doing inserts.
True, because that double channel is pretty cool. Like I don't like the channel now, how Burton does it with one, but like how the Forum boards came with the double channel, like in the 2000s, like seems like that shit would work.
Might have not been. It might have been before, because that would have
like
been. I would have
90s
went
maybe?
like 2002. I think I went to Camp of Champions.
Oh, true. Dang, prime time when the park was huge.
Oh yeah, the glacier was popping. The glacier's
Yeah,
closed now. We
I
don't even
know.
have summer boarding here in Whistler anymore, which doesn't. If you told me that 15 years ago, 10 years ago, even 7 years ago, I'd be like, no, that's gonna happen forever.
Yeah.
No glacier this summer.
Yeah, it's heinous. And I never got to see it when it was like big like that, but I've seen it in videos and it used to be like
Dude.
huge. Like,
Is it the salt that they put on the glacier? Some people are blaming the salt. Other people are blaming global warming. Some people are blaming Tesla. Some people are blaming the lasers.
I think it's all cyclical. It'll come back. It'll come back.
Yeah,
It's
it'll
gonna
come
be like
back.
after we're all gone, but it'll come back.
Well, I believe in this thing called manifestation.
Yeah.
So that glacier's coming back full bore.
Yeah, whether you like it or not.
I hope so. Anyway, I don't know if that's actually how science works. Once that much ice melts, I don't know if it's fast to rebuild unless we have another full-on ice age. Well, I can't imagine leaving and having a call with Dope Industries. David, a close friend of yours, was something you were looking forward to. Those conversations are always hard to have. You know what I mean? You really care about the individual. You really care about the brand and everything that they stand for. But you feel like this is an opportunity and you need to capitalize on it, I'm imagining. But like, take us through that phone call for you. Was it difficult or?
Yeah, I was like, I love Brocklebank, and like more than anything, I was just like scared to disappoint him. But like, I know that those guys, like him and Will, both like want what's best for us. So like, at the end of the day, I don't think they were too stressed, but just like the build up and like working it up to tell them was pretty scary, and I'm pretty disappointed that I did end up doing it over the phone. I was like too scared to do it in person, which is kind of bitch, but I need to get down to Squamish and say what up to those guys and do some hanging out and make sure that everything's all copacetic, because the last thing I want to do is to burn any bridges with those guys or hurt any feelings. But I don't know, like I said, like they definitely understand that this is like kind of what I gotta do, but obviously I'm not going to forget everything that they've like done for us, and I don't know, everyone can still freaking help everyone out, but yeah.
You rode for dope. You did them proud.
Mm-hmm.
You got what you saw was a big opportunity, so you took it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said there, you don't want to disappoint him, but I mean, you have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no way he's going to be excited about what's going on, but it's just if you felt that opportunity with Forum outweighed your opportunity with dope, you had to make the call that you felt was best for you, and you made that call. Sure. And now you need to just live with that call. And I mean, at the end of the day, you're never going to know what the right call could have been, but you've made a choice, and now you just need to move on with that choice.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I'm really excited for like next winter, especially. Sucks we got to get 6 months of painting out of the way before we're boarding, but it'll be good. It'll be exciting.
Grind, work. Yeah. And now it's just like, show up, dude. We want to see like, everybody who's listening to this right now is older probably, and they probably all watched old Forum videos, whether it was the second generation with Blauvelt and John Jay and Stevie Bell, or the young crew or the old crew, I should say, watching, Devin and JP or whatever. But whichever crew is like, Forum was a brand that stood for like, we sponsor the best. And I like that you're going into it with that same mentality, because like, you're not a rider who wants to like milk it out and sneak through the cracks. It's like you want to be a professional snowboarder, from what I gather and what I've seen, recognized for good snowboarding. You know what I mean?
Thank you. For sure.
Would you agree?
Yeah. Like, well, I definitely like the thought of like being a big pro snowboarder or whatever is like I don't give a shit anymore. I'm 23. I have a full-time job, but I have a full-time job so that I can keep snowboarding and like trying to do these tricks that I want to do. And it's just like even better now that I can have a Forum board on my feet and try to do like justice to what the boys that came before me did, Like I just want to go as big, maybe bigger than those guys, and it would be freaking sick.
Dude, you have a horrible attitude, and we all hate you for it, and I'm just going to stop you right there, because you keep saying 23 as if it's old. 23, man, and you're a backcountry rider. I would say 90% of backcountry riders film their best shit ever, late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s. Like, that's when you start understanding. Like, that's when you unlock. Like, even look at Bryn. Bryn's 28 now.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like he's always been good, but now he's getting really fucking good.
Yeah, look at all of the best backcountry riders. Even Kazu. Like, the list goes on. They all film their best shit around that 30 marker. So don't put yourself in a box and be like, it's a double-edged sword, because you definitely want to be realistic about snowboarding and payments now, and just being a super pro who gets paid $200,000 a year to ride in the backcountry is an unrealistic goal in this day and age. But there is with your skill set, I'm saying to you, as if I was like your team manager, your agent, that like you have the skill set to make real money from this.
Thank you.
If you don't burn bridges,
don't drink too many Molsons.
Not too many Molsons, but enough Molsons. You know what I mean? I like to have a couple beers.
Exactly.
Couple jokes, couple smokes. Never hurt anybody.
Exactly.
Maybe not the smokes, but the premise of that was just to like relax and enjoy, and your skill set will take you to where you need to go.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, I feel like now. Compared to last summer and like the summer before, now I feel like I'm sitting in a spot where I'm like pretty happy with what's going on, like super happy with what's going on. And now I just got to not fuck it up. Just got to work and save and have some good little stack saved up for next winter. Try to get my gas going everywhere.
Yeah, not fucking it up is key.
Yeah, like I feel like, because like, I don't know, you probably feel like this too. It's like we're out every day that we can be out. And like this year especially, maybe it was like the hardest year I've had so far, just for like not being fulfilled with what ended up getting done, because like all the time I just feel like put so much money and energy into stuff, and it's a really shitty feeling to like not have anything to show for it. But that's like just part of it. I feel like you just gotta stick those tough times out, and then the next time you get clips is gonna feel real good.
Unless you are a top tier pro that can chase storms and gets paid a lot of money, even people like myself who I get paid to snowboard, I'm fortunate where I have support. It's like I went to Japan, came back, and it's just like I don't have money to go to Alaska and post up and hope to get storms. And unless you were one of those like super pros that has like a big bankroll, it's like you don't have that luxury to just chase storms around the whole globe. Like Europe was good for a bit, then it shit the bed. And then Tahoe was good for a bit, and then it shit the bed. And then Alaska was good for a bit, and then it got windy. And it's like, you know, Japan was good, and then it just wasn't. And it's like landing on those, and Whistler, where like we live because it's supposed to be consistent and have a good snowpack and
Just
stuff.
miserable this year.
Has been, this is the worst year ever. We got 300 millimeters of rain that absolutely obliterated our snowpack.
Yeah, just like, oh, it's looking good, and it's fucked again. Like so much of that this year.
Yeah, you just gotta look at the rain and just start laughing. Go
Yeah.
up and ride in the rain and be like, it's still fun.
Exactly. Yeah, those are like low key the best days because like you're not getting any clips. You just like go try some new stuff or like some weird stuff that you don't love doing.
I love those sneaky days where you're like, I wasn't gonna go ride today, and you go up. And I feel like a lot of people that are weekend warriors, you know, we have that luxury of living in a resort town, picking our days, you know, whether it snowed or if it's gonna be rainy or whatever. But weekend warriors, they plan trips like months, you know, years in advance.
Oh, yeah. And if it's
then they
shitty,
go, and even if it's shitty, they go snowboarding all day.
Yeah, you got it. Like,
And those are the people that are having beers in the hot tub at the end of the day, being like, today was awesome. And it's the locals like us that are complaining, like, it wasn't the best day.
Yeah, I know. It's like
They're like, fuck you.
it actually makes me a bit sick how like just spoiled I've become. You're like, oh, like I live across the highway. I won't go up right now because it's cloudy. You're like,
but you,
come on. Yeah.
You've accepted the responsibility of living in a resort town, which comes with its own pros and cons, which that person that only comes here once a year might not want to be around full time. Like living in a resort town comes with like it being bombarded with people and traffic and parking and like its own little shit that sometimes sucks. But I can look past all that stuff because the excitement and the fulfillment I get of living in a mountain community outweighs like the busy traffic coming up from Vancouver occasionally and stuff like that. But there's some people that can't handle that. They just want to live. They want to live in Grand Prairie and have their elbow room. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I almost don't blame them. Like there's, I guess like for you too, like just like people that you go to school with, you see on Facebook, it's like, oh, you're the same age as me. You got a house and 2 dogs and like a wife. You're like, geez, Louise, what am I doing?
And they're scrolling through a phone, seeing you standing on top of a mountain.
Yeah.
You know, watching the sunset, you know, having a beer with Cale Stevens and being like, that looks really awesome. That would be nice. I could use some time away from this job and my debt.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword for sure.
Yeah,
awesome.
that's the thing is like everybody looks at everybody and thinks that they have it all figured out, but it's until you go into that person's shoes to only realize that you should have just stayed in your own damn shoes.
Yeah, it's like, what do you want? Like only you know what you want. You just got to go do it.
But it's tough to do it.
Yeah, you got to be decisive. You got to know when to put a foot on gas.
Action is always better than inaction. Like your ideas are better if you're trying for your ideas rather than them staying in your head.
Yeah, actions speak louder than words.
That's
much
true.
Louder.
And snowboarding speaks louder than words, unless you're really good at Instagram.
Yeah, that's another thing that I've been noticing about myself is like sometimes you just say all the shit that you want to do in front of people. It's like just don't say it. Just wait till it's done and show them. Like no one wants to know. No one cares about what you want to do. You know, just shut up and do it, and then show them what you've done.
Okay, so
less.
we got some amazing. Sorry, let me re-articulate that. We got some amazing homies. The family, I would like to say, over at our Patreon. Feel free to subscribe to that. That really helps the channel, and it's greatly appreciated. Obviously, don't do it if you can't afford it. Like, no stress.
How much is the Patreon, Jody?
We got 5, 10, 20, and then I think there's a I'm Rich Bitch, which nobody signed up for yet, which is $100 a month. I'm just waiting for somebody to just be like, I kind of fuck with this guy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
You gotta have it as an option.
Dude, I bought a lot of crypto. I got a lot of money. Like,
Fucking
you know,
awesome.
why not?
I'll get on that.
That's why it's called I'm Rich Bitch.
Awesome. I'm gonna
but
hit
like,
that Patreon soon.
But yeah, if you got an extra $5, it's like a coffee a month, and it goes towards the show. And the idea behind that is all the money goes back into the show. So the first couple years I saved up, and our Patreon helped buy like some lenses for the camera, etc. Anyways, big shout outs to them. We got a question for you from Old Heads Need Love Too,
Sick.
which is a
That's
dope
badass.
handle.
Yeah. Gotta get it to him.
Wicked. He says, being the new kid on the block, do you like how much focus is put on social media? Or do you wish it was like the old days with magazines and full-length videos?
The latter. I wish it was. I want to delete my Instagram. I hate it. It sucks. Like I don't want to post something that I hate looking at every 2 days. I want to save my shit all year. It'd be even better if it was just filmed, because then you don't even get to see it. You know? Then you're like did you when you were filming, like obviously you're still filming parts, but when you were like coming up, like first big couple parts, you ever film any like major stuff on film?
My first opportunity ever with Sandbox, I think it was with Time Well Wasted, was on 16.
And yeah, like you don't get to see any of those clips, but
None.
like you just know that you're excited to see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like whatever turns out is going to be sick. Or it's going to be not as sick, but the stuff that's going to be sick is going to be way more sick because you haven't seen it a million times. Like, does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah.
Instagram
agree.
sucks. And like, I get it for like the quick return that like companies can make or whatever based on like, what's the word?
Views, analytics.
Yeah, analytics and like ambassadors and shit. But like, who cares? Like, it's all like pretty meaningless. Like, no Instagram post means more than like the Brown video that just came out, you know? Does that make sense? I don't know. It's like,
Yeah.
just, I really don't like Instagram and Facebook. And if I felt like I could just do what I'm doing with like kind of without it, I definitely wouldn't have it. But I feel like you kind of, as much as it sucks and like it's annoying to manage, you kind of have to be on the Instagram like shit with what we do. It's good for companies, I guess, but it sucks that we have to do it.
I agree that there's some people that flourish in that setting.
Mm-hmm.
Back to how nobody is the same.
Nobody's the
and
same.
we're all different. Some people like being on social media and they like posting.
Yeah.
And then some people, you know, probably post, it doesn't get the amount of likes they like. They lose sleep over it. They get anxiety. They question everything they're posting. They get in their head. And a lot of snowboarders are already like anxious, weird people. And then you're telling them to market themselves.
Like, I knew I shouldn't have posted on a Sunday. Fuck.
I remember when fucking Instagram first started coming out, and Scott Brown being the best example of one of the best snowboarders I have ever ridden with, especially when it comes to steel.
Yep.
And it's just like that thing like just ruined his career. I think it was just like at that time it was like you have to lean into this and be good at this. And he was like, I'm a good snowboarder.
Yeah.
Like I don't market myself. He already is marketable if you have a camera and you can whip up an edit.
Yeah, it's like, have you met the guy? He's gonna sell whatever you need.
Yeah, totally.
Fucking awesome.
I love that you brought up the Brown movie there too, because it's like
full length.
And that video has 250,000 views of passionate snowboarders that have a clue.
Yeah, and they all spent more than an hour watching it. It's like, okay, I don't think there's nothing wrong with the mid-length, like 10-minute video, but I think that is the shit. Like 40-minute plus full length. Everyone's got clips in it. There's different, like there's a variety in riding and terrain and everything. That's like what we should be aiming for.
I think that movie that Butters put out, Brock, is an absolute home run. The editing is the best we've seen in years.
I was super down with the whole thing. I've been waiting to watch. Like everyone in that video is like those are the guys that I'm trying to emulate nowadays, you know. But also sick that they put Mateo in, because like another slept on Canadian that's like kind of getting some shine now, but he's way better than people think he is. It's Potato.
Yeah, like you, Mateo, Bryn.
Jaden's getting it. Emil, you know Emil?
Yeah, really sick.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a bunch of steel boarders that are like really sick right now and they're all from Calgary and Quebec as per usual.
Yeah.
And there's like a couple there that I think that are really overlooked right now, but they're all starting to get their shine a little bit. And that's where this weird thing is, if you lean into social media and you're good at that, you're like, you can get like a brand to be like excited about you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to do it without having that social media game, which is frustrating, because if you're really raw and you have like this talent that's like, it's no longer just about the talent, which is sad because the talent should always outweigh if you're good at waving your own flag.
Yeah, now you got to be like the talent and to a sense like your own agent. Like it just sucks to be like, I don't know, it just feels like braggy to post stuff on Instagram, and that's like I don't want to have that feeling when I like put videos out. I want to put videos out because I'm like proud of it and I want people to see it, but like just like a hard post on Instagram sucks. I want to be in like a movie.
Well, like we were saying,
Yeah.
actions speak louder than words. And for the
make that
longest time in snowboarding, it was always let your riding do the talking.
Yeah, now you can't. Like you can, but like barely. Like I need money to do the riding a little bit. How much money do you think it takes to go to AK? I mean,
How much money do you think you need, roughly, ballpark, for you to have the most successful season you've ever had? If a brand came up to you and they're like, we want you to kill it this year without being an asshole, how much do you think that you could hit a home run season on?
I could hit a home run season on it. Like it depends, right? Like if you're looking for red footy, like a red filmer is 10 grand a month.
Yeah, we're not going red.
Yeah, we're not going.
We don't
red.
need red.
We're not going red. But I think like it depends what you wanted to do. If I wanted to do a full length project that like say you just follow the base outline that everyone does, you go to Japan in January, you come back to Whistler for the main, and then you go to Alaska at the end. I think you'd be hard pressed to make it work with 60. Like I don't know.
Oh, with a filmer though.
Yeah, with a filmer. Without a filmer, like
Yeah.
I can make it work on my own with 20.
Yeah.
Like getting there and stuff. It's just like
So if we get you in a project, your brand support a project, and we can get you 20K, that's what you need.
yeah.
I wish Airtime had 20K because I
Oh,
would
well-
pay 20K for Bryn, 20K for Mateo, 20K for you, and the North Face. We're all repping that flag right now.
We are trying to rep it.
We are trying to
We are
rep
trying
it.
to rep it. Will they let us rep it? I don't know. But it would be sick. It would be freaking awesome. But yeah, I don't know. I just want to somehow figure out a way to get enough money up from now till the start of next year that like me and Bryn can film something together, because I know that he would be down to film something. Mateo or like anyone else if they want to, but like that's who I know would like commit to doing it right now is Bryn, and I know that guy's trying to get to Alaska, and I want to go too.
Have you filmed with Bryn before? Do you enjoy it?
That's like, since I moved to Whistler, that's pretty much the only person I film with. And like, yes, I do enjoy it because he's awesome. And this is a bad trait that I've started to recognize in myself, is like, I really don't know that much. Like my like snow safety knowledge is very limited and very poor. I'm pretty bad for like doing exactly what he does, and like almost to an extent that like he knows, and like he'll like almost send me down shit. Like I don't know how to say this, but like if we're stepping out a jump, for instance, like we'll both kind of be like, what trick are you trying? And he'll never answer first because he'll just like let me have the easier one that I want. I'm like, all right, like I gotta wean off the tit a little bit, start making my own jumps, start riding my own lines, not just following Bryn off everything. But yeah, like he's a good person to follow off stuff because he knows what's good.
Yeah, he's got the eye. He's got the eye of the tiger.
He's got the eye, and he like actually knows stuff. Like so many times I'm out there, I'm like, can I stand here right now? And then he'll like explain to me, he's like, I wouldn't walk over that convex roll because this. And like, okay,
he's
true.
a good mentor out there.
Yeah. Like I don't know anything. That's like,
Have you taken an Avi course?
I took my AST1, but like for next year, I definitely am planning to go to the bald face risk maturity course. Or
Yeah,
like,
you should go.
I should go. I just don't have $4,000. But I should have went this year, but yeah.
I think
just
it's like 2,500.
I think it's a little bit more than that. I feel like it's quite a bit, but it's definitely worth it.
I've gone 3 times, and it's like what has educated me to where I am now.
Well, yeah.
And if you want to continue to ride backcountry, which you do,
Yeah.
you should 100% take that course. I mean, everybody who rides in the mountains should take an Avi course, and I feel like when you say that, the people who still haven't are still like, whatever.
Yeah,
and it's like, dude, you're out there with your closest friends. If something happens,
Yeah.
you will be awake for the rest of your life being like, I never took it serious.
Well, like, yeah, or like even worse, like maybe I could have been able to like save that person.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it's going to eat you. But if you take a course and you're like, I was educated to the best of my ability. I was going out there and at least I got educated. You know, you're gonna be able to live with that, but it's like driving without a driver's license. It's like
yeah, it's like if
should
you get pulled over, I'm gonna be bummed.
Well, and you probably don't know how to drive. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? It's
yeah,
like
true.
traveling in the mountains is without a like understanding like what a convex roll is, what a terrain trap is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those things are important. So you should 100% take that course. And since
Very
snowboarding
important.
is so stressful and we're going to give you an anxiety attack over everything that you need to learn, here's a Scandinavian spa pass from our beautiful partners at the Scandinavian Spa. Thank you for supporting the show. And thanks for hooking our dog up with a little retreat.
That's
you know?
fucking awesome. Yeah. Shout out to those guys.
And you're
Respect.
nursing an injury right now, too. So it seems like good timing.
Yeah, that's gonna be nice. That's gonna be real nice.
Have you been?
I've been a couple times.
Nice.
Locals Day.
Locals Day.
Locals
When is
Day.
that? Tuesday or Thursday?
Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesdays.
I think. Don't quote me on that, but it's a little bit cheaper.
It's Tuesday or Thursday.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Jody. That was quite an excellent surprise.
Oh, we got a couple more gifts coming up for you, dog. But first, and before we get to that, we got some questions for you. These are fast bullet point questions that are going to see how much you know about Forum Snowboards. And
fuck.
based on what I know, you're not going to do very well here. But who started Forum?
Peter Line.
Correct. Okay. Forum started 2 outerwear companies.
Foursquare and
Special.
oh yeah, Special Blend. Sorry,
No
that was a
worries.
bad flop.
Okay. Who is on the Forum 8?
Okay, start with the Canadians. Devin and our guy with the helmet. We were just talking about him.
Chris Duffy.
Yeah, Chris Duffy. I think that's all the Canadians.
True.
Peter.
Yep.
JP.
Yep.
Yoni.
Yep.
Bjorn.
Yep.
That's 6. I'm missing 2. Fuck. I always get here. I don't know.
Let me know if you give up.
Wait. Okay.
One of them is often recording on the Bombhole podcast as a co-host,
Oh, Jeremy Jones. Sorry, that was a fucking loose one to let slip by.
and one has a coffee company, Heart Coffee in Portland, Oregon. He also rode for K2 after. He had a really good frontside 360.
I always forget. Oh, Willie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ville. Nice.
Ville.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
the one I always forget. It's
Yeah.
hard because I honestly I've seen his clips the least, or I would recognize his clips the least. But yes, Ville.
Very good. Yeah, I actually thought you were going to do worse than that. So nice job.
We got 6, half on 7, 8.
We'll give you a 6.5 out of 10, maybe a 6.
6 to 5.
Because somebody could be like, you know, JP, Jeremy, Yoni, Ville, BJ, Walsh, Duff, Peter, and you'd be like, holy shit, this guy knows what he's talking about, aka me. All right. What was their first team movie? It was recorded in the year 2000.
Is it not Double Decade?
Double
year?
Decade?
What year is what? The first one came out in 2000.
The first Forum movie came out in the year 2000.
Oh, that's not a fucking Forum movie.
Double Decade was a MacDougall movie.
Yeah.
Their 20th anniversary.
What's the first
The
Forum movie?
first Forum movie,
not-
they fight. Peter Line beats everybody up in the intro. He says something along the lines of, I'm tired of filming with a bunch of whiny-ass bitches.
What? I need to watch this one. I don't know if I've even seen it.
Well, that's because you're 23. Okay, the movie is called The Resistance.
Oh, what? That's the opening of Resistance?
Yeah, Peter Line beats up everybody on the Forum team.
Dope did a pop-up store in Velvet Underground in like the fall, and I sat there for like 10 hours one day watching The Resistance.
Oh, it's
but
good.
I had the sound off. I don't know how I missed the fight scene.
Peter Line's part, I'm pretty sure, is like, I'll be your Johnny on the spot.
Is The Resistance the one that Devin only films his part in like 6 days?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
okay.
There you go.
yeah.
There's some fucking points.
I've seen that one in like quite a bit actually.
Yeah.
I've never seen the fight scene though.
Yeah, it's the opening. You probably skipped the opening segment
Yeah.
to watch the actual snowboarding.
Get to the board.
Yeah.
That's the best thing about all the Forum videos though that I thought is like, obviously the boarding's insane, but like the little intros, even in the newer ones, like Fuck It and stuff.
Yeah, totally.
So sick. They had the best intros.
Yeah, that movie, The Resistance, was banging. And in that movie, Peter Line hits the Forum step down.
What's he do?
He does switchback 3, switchback 5, switchback 7.
Fuck. Yeah, damn. So just one day too, probably. Like what the
Oh, yeah,
fuck?
all in a row.
Yeah.
All in a row.
Beast.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the switchback 3 is like mid part, and then the ending 2 tricks is switchback 5, switchback 7. And at the time, a switchback 7 on a step down of that big was like unheard of.
Well, yeah, like the only switch backside spin I can think of that's like bigger than that is John Jay's off of Mother.
John Jay.
Or is it stepmother? He does a switchback 9 on
Switchback
that
9. Yeah.
stupid one. It's like a 40-second slow-mo clip. He's just in the air forever.
Yeah. I mean, Peter Line did not go nearly as big as John Jay's Switchback 9 on the Mother, but
still 3 for 3 on that
that's
sucker?
also like 10 years later.
Yeah, we had science on the boards.
It's no shot at Peter Line. Everything
No,
Peter
no.
does is the best.
Yeah,
so.
he's goated.
He is
cemented
in the goat. 2 Forum riders that had clips in the Art of Flight.
John Jay.
Oh, correct.
How could you miss John Jay? Who's the other one? Friggin' Mark. Is it a Mark?
It starts with a P. Last name starts with an M. He puts on the risk maturity course at Baldface.
Oh, no way. What? Fucking,
He's got red hair. He gets really mad in the older.
Oh, Pat Moore.
Totally. It's the tree jam.
Yeah, I was thinking someone else.
Yeah, no, I liked this episode and I like Truth's episode because
Yeah, we don't know shit.
Well, man, when I was 23, I didn't know anything either. And everyone who's yelling at you right now is probably like born in 1984, and they're like, you know what I mean? It's just different.
But sorry, I am a fan of Pat Moore, and I know that he's
You
fucked
should be
up too.
Pat Moore, John Jay, like those two for you as like I want to go big and be respected for jumping. It's like
Yeah, big dogs.
those are that's who you should be looking
And
up to.
Pat's like super sick too, because he really was like an ATV. Like he was in the streets getting it. I don't know if John Jay really got street clips.
John Jay's early footage in standard, so like white balance and stuff.
Yeah, there's some street.
He's got some really like it was. John Jay could have done anything, but he was kind of like you at one point. He just liked jumping more.
Well, that's what I'm saying too. Is like it's got to be hard to like once you figure out that you can go ride this crazy shit that you want to ride and like go big and like be fine. How are you gonna go risk it and go on another street trip and just hit these rails that don't really do it for you?
I don't know that. But look at JP, Eddie Wall. Like those people started leaning back into the streets. Like
Yeah.
they went out sledding. A lot of people, because snowmobiles were so hard to use back in the day, and they
Yeah,
were
they
so frustrating. You couldn't get far. You would get stuck, and those riders didn't actually live in Whistler, so they never learned how to use the snowmobile properly. Would come up,
True.
get stuck over and over, and they got
Yeah.
burnt out on it. And then this whole group of people that were getting paid so much money to have an all-around ATV part ended up just like bailing on the backcountry and just filming street. Like I feel like a lot of people, like even LNP and the whole Deja Vu French crew came out here. They all had snowmobiles.
It's pretty daunting. Like it definitely. I remember the first couple days I went out with Kale. I'd be like, literally, like as soon as he'd get far away to like not see me, I'd be crying. I'd just be like, oh fuck.
Did you cry in your helmet?
Oh yeah. He's like, how do I get up this thing? Because it's pretty scary, dude. Like imagine the first time you go out to like Chocolate Bowl and you got to go up, or not Chocolate Bowl. Imagine the first time you go to Brandywine and you got to go up the gauntlet. You're just like, holy Christ, this thing looks fucked. And if I mess up, I'm out of a sled. Don't even own it yet. Like it's just like, oh, it all sucks pretty bad unless you like it. Like
It is like you were saying. You've always really wanted to get into moto.
Yeah.
Sledding's basically moto, but in the snow, and it's like
and like twice as expensive. Like if the fucking
Yeah, true.
if you explode the sled. Like last year I blew my motor, and without warranty they said it was gonna be $9,000. I was like, that's like half of what I'm making a year. That's like quite a bit of money.
half what you make, $18,000 a year, dude. Get a job.
I'm a little bit better than that this year. I got Dave. It's time for a raise, buddy.
Maybe you don't have a raise yet for a reason, buddy.
No. Ask Demo.
If you're going up the 40, if you're going up the 40-foot ladder fully extended and you're spraying fucking beehives up there in the hot sun, you deserve, I don't know how much you're getting paid, but I don't know.
200.
200 an
No,
hour?
no, I'm joking.
Jesus, you a doctor?
That's what you want.
All right, what 1080 did Stevie Bell do in Vacation?
I want to say frontside or cab, but I don't.
Both are wrong. It was a switch backside double 1080, apparently, first try.
Everything he did was first try. I only snowboarded for like 4 months when he got on Forum. That's so fucked.
Yeah, were
That's
you
so
there with hanging out with Kareem when Kareem was giving us Stevie's whole breakdown?
Kinda, yeah, but I remember just tripping because it's just so insane that he was even kind of good. Well, not even kind of good. He was like very, very good, and he like
Yeah,
he
it is
snowboarded for like
insane, dude.
Yeah.
Stevie was on Forum within 3 years of snowboarding.
Yeah, it doesn't even make sense. Like,
Alongside like John Jay, who had probably been riding since he was 5 years old.
damn, that kind of breaks my heart. That did
Yeah.
the switchback 10. I haven't done a switchback 10, and I really
And
want
it's
to.
huge and perfect. All right, what man boy rode for Forum?
Was it? It wasn't Jody, was it? No, it was
Fucking Rusty for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rusty,
Totally.
Rusty.
The Forum step down Big points if you know this one. Was originally called...
Oh, it had a different name. Stepmother?
Wrong.
Oh, I don't know. What's that one?
The Gathering. So there was a French-Canadian crew here called The Gathering crew, and they were the originals to hit it.
Okay, I didn't
Probably
know that.
like Gaytone, Alex Achu.
I've heard the gay tone name, and now that you say that, I have heard the term The Gathering, but yeah, I didn't realize that's what it was from.
Yeah, Gaytone was really sick. I believe he ended Stand and Deliver, which was a huge movie.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
I'm pretty sure he did. I might be wrong. Somebody might be yelling at me, but I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. All right. 2 NST wildcards that you would like to see up in that bitch.
Natural selection
Yeah.
wild cards.
Who's 2 people you would like to see at natural selection?
My good friend Potato,
Who's Potato?
Matteo Massiti,
Oh, yeah.
and fuck it, Sean Miskimen. Get him in there.
I thought you were going to pick yourself and Bryn, but Mateo and Sean? Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. I don't know. Yeah, everyone says Mateo, or everyone says Bryn. he'll get there if he wants to.
I liked that on the last episode that I was just like we were talking about.
Or like, yeah, who's the most underrated?
Yeah, totally.
No,
And
he's
I was
overrated,
like,
underrated.
I'm not going to say Bryn anymore. We've said his name too much. He's canceled.
10 eps in a row.
All right, my dog.
My dog.
My dog. In your opinion, who's killing it from the younger generation that you could foresee being like put on the map in the next couple years?
Whistler Stees, I think there's a couple kids on Schmob, part of the Schmob crew that are pretty beasting right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Finn Finestone. I know that he like, it seemed like he got put up for a while, but I don't know if he has like as much support as he was getting. And it seemed like if that kid switches more to like just focusing on filming, he's gonna fuck shit up for sure. And then
I agree.
yeah, and Lane Weaver as well. Lane's really freaking sick. He's almost like, have you seen him skate? He just
They're
floats.
all insane.
Yeah, and yeah, the young Tromlak kind of beast, freaking Tosh. The whole
Tosh
Schmob crew.
is 17. I didn't know that.
I know. It's like he's such a sleeper because like I feel like this year he like really like kind of turned shit on.
Oh, yeah.
He's beasting. Like that kid, and then there's got to be some others that I'm thinking of. I just never leave Whistler these days. That's all I can think of.
When you went down...
Oh.
Sorry. Shoot.
Garrett Baker as well. Garrett's getting it.
Garrett Baker. He's a Patreon member.
What?
Shout out to
Respect.
Garrett.
Shout out.
Dude, that homie's been killing it since day one. But maybe on that note, when you were heading down last year to the Slush Quarter Pipe Hip Invitational, were there any standouts there that you were like, holy shit, like these borders are good? Because you took a step outside the bubble. You also went to Utah with Bryn mid-season.
Yeah, that was lovely.
You've seen the other side now.
Yeah.
There's some talented individuals down there.
For the slush shit, the freaking Japanese homies were all going crazy. Like
Classic.
Yeah, like Raibu, Ayumu. I forget the other homie's name, but those ones were like the ones really fucking it up for like quarter pipe ski. Dylan Hendrickson was doing some crazy shit as well. I think he won like the Nixon like standout award or something, or maybe he won the whole thing. But
I don't know. You were there.
yeah, I was there. I was there, but I didn't have insurance. I was scared to really do anything. Which
What do you mean you were scared to do anything?
Like when you go to the States, aren't you like well you
Well, A, I'm not like you and I would get insurance.
Yeah.
And B, I'm also not like you, and if I rode up a quarter pipe as fast as you did, I would have separated my shoulder just riding up the thing.
Well, I blew it in like two aspects because A, I didn't get insurance and I was a little bit scared of hurting myself the whole time, so I didn't really do anything. And then B, the stuff I did do, I just did it like right away. I think if I was a little smarter with it and just waited until like, because obviously you can't win with something you've done early in the morning. You got to wait till the end when it starts picking up.
Bad strategy you had.
Terrible strategy. I just got on the beers.
Oh, they're classic Canadian.
Well, every other Canadian was doing it, so I was like, we're watching. We're watching. It was pretty fun though.
Classic.
Yeah, like it was like
The Canadian crew shows up and it turns into an amphitheater with beers
yeah,
immediately.
like we're just all watching. No one's riding. It was like me, Mikey, Dustin, Mateo, Sean, and then Callum. And Bryn too. We just all ended up just watching the end.
That's a good crew.
But
Are you going to go again?
I want to, shoulder permitting. I really do want to. It's coming up though. Like what is that? I think it's like the 28th.
I don't know, but you have a Scandinavian spa pass, so now you can heal that injury and go to the quarter pipe and then make Canada proud and not drink too many beers and get insurance so you can send it.
Sober. It would be pretty sick, sober. Canadian sober.
I heard somebody was saying the other night, I was having some beers with Mikey Cicerelli, who was down there, and Cicerelli was telling me that Dustin went down.
Yes, he
and
did.
Dustin hit it. His first time he hit it, he broke like the air of the day for height. And then he did it 2 more times. He only hit it 3 times, and he got the highest air.
Yeah, he definitely didn't hit it that much. Now that I didn't see him hit it that much, and every time I saw him hit it, he was going fucking big. So
I just couldn't imagine like not snowboarding, like flying all the way down from Revelstoke, and then the only thing he's doing just riding absolutely as fast
straight.
You know what I mean? Like not doing the warm up.
Yeah,
and
like
going
you don't
bigger.
do like your little like 1 foot
His
air.
first air, he did the
went
biggest air
huge.
of the day.
Pretty sick,
Dude.
Pretty sick. Well, that's what happens when you get to go to the Arctic Challenge back in the day. You know,
It's true.
he's been groomed for the thing.
He's been groomed.
Mm-hmm.
The Americans loved Dustin back in the day.
They should
He
still.
was our. They still. Well, they still. Oh yeah, they
Oh,
still
yeah.
do.
Pretty sick.
Yeah, they should throw him in Brown. Although Brown's not making another movie, that's too bad. They're doing a Videograss movie this year instead. Yeah.
I like Videograss too, but the editing lately has been so plain.
What's your editing style? So you liked Brown?
I like Brown, and I do like the older Videograss movies, but the last couple have just been like pretty bland.
Not
in
as
my
poppin'.
opinion. In my opinion, yeah. I'm like pretty versatile with music. Like it doesn't have to be like a trap song or like a country song, but you can make it all dope. You know?
It's true.
Yeah.
Let's go like 3 videos that you really like. They don't have to be in any specific time frame. Just 3 videos that you've seen that you've like. I like these videos.
The Search for Mountain Jim. Bryn showed me that one. Have you seen it?
I haven't, and I have it right there.
You gotta watch that one.
Yeah.
Because like at that time, it just seemed like no one had any like snow safety, so they didn't know how gnarly shit was, seemingly, and it just like that video was so fucked up. They just ride shit that like you could not even look at now without like in the eye of safety. You're like shit's gonna go, you would die, but they did it and it was fucked up. So that one's sick.
Good pick, by the way.
Thank you. I definitely wouldn't have seen that without Bryn, but that one's really sick. There's a tree clear cut. It's really sick. That one's badass.
Yeah.
So clear cut, The Search for Mountain Jim, and then I don't know. I'm like really keen on the old shit.
Clear cut, was that Gathering or was that Treetop?
Treetop.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it has like the sick font.
Yeah.
And then another one is Pop because Kale's in it and he does some crazy shit. You know that clip in the credits when he like goes to hit the jump and somehow like 90-degree heel catches and does like a double rodeo?
I know the clip you're talking about.
That clip is so sick.
Talk about personality, man. There's
Yeah.
somebody you put a camera on and he can turn anything into a clip.
Yeah,
Cale
he-
Stevens.
And like also like just doesn't get angry no matter what happens. He'll never be mad. It's so sick. I've broken so much of that guy's stuff by accident, and he's never gotten mad at me. Fucking thank you, Kale.
Dude, Cale has seen so much shit too in his life, dude. Like that guy has been through more than anyone I have like ever. Like friends passing, everything, like been in the mountains for multiple avalanches, like
Cut his own nose off, and he was smiling.
Cut his own face off
Yeah.
for Shakedown, filming for MacDougall, and is still smiling.
Yeah, he was smiling when it happened, I bet. I almost did that in the lot in front of him. And then he was like, oh, you should get off the sled. You should let me load it. I was like, oh, thank you, man. Thank you so much.
All right, I'm going to play a little... So we're talking about the World Quarters. Geeves sent me this last year.
Sick.
After you did you posted some clips from the World Quarters, and then Andrew, he sends me voice texts.
I love his voice texts. They're so good.
They're the best. If you haven't listened to the Andrew Geeves podcast, I highly recommend. And here's a little voice memo from Andrew on Jack.
Jack Dukes, man. He's my favorite up-and-comer right now. Hands down. I feel like Jack has got this core power. I don't know, like he's so good. Like, do you see the backside rodeo 720 on the fucking quarter pipe? Wow, dude, unreal. He's got something. Like man. This is the type of rider that he can ride anything.
It's sick. Thank you, Geeves. Fuck, I'm so bummed that he was here all winter and I like did not get up to Braylorn once. Like we tried to, but I just.
It wasn't the year for anybody to link up with anybody. He kept
Yeah.
hitting me up, being like, "How's the weather?" I'm like, "Shit," and he's like,
Yeah, it's
we
bad
had
here,
planned
too.
since November to do a trip to Braylorn and go hike pillows with him because Andrew's got like
Yeah, he had some
some
zones.
sneaky. Yeah, he's got some places on lock, and
Yeah.
he's just a real. He's a now that I would have hung out with him regardless, but his sober program, being in the mountains, I really like being around him these days. Like he stayed at my house while we were recording that last episode, and
Sick.
he's just kind of on this new chapter of sobriety, and it's weird when somebody's going through something as difficult as sobriety, but someone like myself who's not going through that same thing can get so much inspiration from somebody going through
Yeah.
what he's like. I look at him right now and I see somebody who's fighting in the ring for their life, kind of, but like just the way he talks about himself and his past and everything about him right now is just inspiring. We talk almost on the phone every day now, and it's like,
Good. Yeah, you should.
oh man, it's just like the shit that he's on right now is just like totally what I needed. It's like when he leaves me a voice memo now, it's like he's like, yo, I just got up, I just went to the gym, I just got some hoodies made for my
Yup.
hedge companies, like just did
Sick.
this morning. I dealt with this really difficult scenario in this way, and I'm always just like, damn, like this homie is so fucking inspiring right now.
Yeah.
Big shout outs to Andrew and his journey to sobriety. I know he listens to all these episodes, and so like keep going, dog. The whole community loves you, and just you're the fucking best, and keep inspiring everybody, man.
Yeah, straight
Yeah,
up.
straight
Fucking
up.
best voice memos I ever got from that guy. They're just always dope. Never know what they're gonna say, but they're always dope.
He probably was telling you to like, listen, man, like, don't do what I did. I fucked shit up, and you need to like, you're sick as fuck, and you need to just like, keep on the grind. Like, he's such a support. Like when he sees somebody that has the talent that you have, that Peter Line recognized, that Geeves like people that are like in that category of just raw natural talent. It's like almost like they can just see it. You know what I mean? They see that you have it, and he doesn't want you to fuck it up.
Yeah, fucking. I'm gonna try not to. Fuck this summer. Start grinding.
Start grinding, my
Start
man.
grinding. Saving up.
Let's talk snowboarding. Like, where do you want to be in 5 years? What do you want to have accomplished? What do you want out of snowboarding?
Primarily a full length part that I'm like hyped on. Like I was like stoked on my couple clips in tennis, but I was bummed that I couldn't film like a full song or two for a part. Sorry, I gotta stop crinkling paper. Yeah, so film a part that I'm proud of, mostly in the backcountry, doing tricks that I want to do. I have kind of like some mental notes of stuff that I would like to accomplish and like see what that looks like. But like, I don't know.
What's one mental note that you have?
I want to do a natty 1080.
That's my dog. That's why I asked that
Yeah.
question. Damn,
fucking
dude, that's
awesome.
hit
'Cause,
me
like-
with the natty 10. Has anyone done that?
Well, the closest I've seen is like Jake Blauvelt did a front 10 and might have been in Naturally, it might have been in something else, but it's a front 10 and he just like kind of packed the lip down. It's one of those wind lips that you could hit.
Oh yeah, I hit it with like Shane Pospisil and Ejac. I
Like a
think
bunch of-
Yeah.
like you hit
I know
it,
what
you
you're
could
talking about. They hit a bunch.
Yeah. But like it'd be sick to just find some kind of dong with a steep landing and like I swear just huck one all year until you get one. Like it only takes one. That's
I love that
yeah,
attitude.
It would be sick. It would be sick.
It only takes one.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, it's kind of. I don't know though. There's a couple options. Like I think, like a natty double backflip, like Travis did in Natty Select, something like that could be kind of cool. But it's like I almost feel like the fruit's too low hanging. Like I feel like you just got to go 1080.
A front any 1080 natty would be. I mean,
It'd be pretty bonkers.
it would be for where you're at. It's exactly what you should do. I think. Like if you tee up a natty fast, big front 10 natty, like that's gonna
sick.
help you like put on the map. You know what I mean?
I've never seen perfect jump in real life too, but I really want to try back 14 on it.
There we go.
Yeah, like I don't think that's like a big, huge, impactful trick. I just like I haven't gone upside down 3 times in a while, and like I like jumping, so like that's just something that I want to do in the powder.
Matt wants to back 14 it too, so you have
Matt
to beat
who?
Belzil. So there you go. You're racing Matt.
He's gonna do it flat. I can do it flippy.
Yeah, you're gonna go flippy back 14.
Yeah.
Matt's going full flat.
Sick.
I think that he should just do a back 12, but I think I think in his eyes he thinks he can land maybe the 14 easier.
Yeah, it just depends because like I wonder how the flat weight would come around if it would just be like another back 3 like he probably thinks it would be, or if it would just like dip on him. But I don't know. Got up to that guy.
I don't know when
sick.
the last time he's done a 14.
You think he has?
I think he's done a 14. I think he's done a couple. I want to say, and this is shit that I should know this, being one of his best friends. I know he's done a hell of a lot of back 12s, but I think I want to say he's done a couple back 14s.
True. Yeah.
And I also think that Matt's the type that if he wants to do something, he can just kind of do it.
Yeah.
You're kind of like that too.
To a point. Like I need building blocks. Like snowboarding is great for having like shit to step down and up on. You know, like if
you don't want to go full Dustin Craven.
Yeah, like
Arctic Challenge speed right into things.
Like I need my building blocks. Like I'll never, unless I've been riding every day and I'm like very comfortable with everything, I won't just like go and spin the jump first hit. I'll probably straight air it. But if I'm riding every day and like shit's going well, like back 7 I guess is like my straight air trick. But
okay, we're going first hit. Let's say Super Park came back out of the grave. You got a 70-foot poppy jump. It's day 1 of Super Park. It's still a little brick in the morning.
Yeah.
You got the speed because you've watched some people go in or whatever. Would you straight air back 3? What would you start the jump off with?
I would have to go back 7, I think. Because
really?
like
Open the gates.
Well, like back 3 on a big jump for me is really scary because like the whole time I was doing contests, I would never straight air. I would never straight air any jump. I would just do back 7s on them first hit. Because it's like if you jump off the high dive at the pool. Like it's way scarier just to like walk off it than it is to do like a misty or something, you know? You're kind of like busy spotting or doing something the whole time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. And then you can't really see if you're going to come up short until the last second, which is also nice.
And also, like, there's been a couple times at like stomping grounds or something, like, you know, that like training camp kind of in the fall, where like I've been there a couple times and like every year I went on the first run of like going through hitting shit, I would always knuckle the big jump. And one year I knuckled like an 80-foot jump with a back 7, like I was spinning when I knuckled it, like 2-foot bounce front flip, and I swear if I straight aired, I would have just fucked my knees up. But I think because you're like spinning, I think it like transfers the energy or something. I swear it must, because it like didn't even hurt at all. But like I will never straight air like a fat jump. That's super scary. I don't like that.
I actually had the exact opposite thing happen to me at Super Park.
I was spinning and knuckling.
I was hitting a jump in the morning, and I would guinea front 3 style. So I did my front 3, and then I did like some frontside spins, got all my frontside spins, and then I started going backside on it, back 1, back 3, back 5, back 7. Went inside because it was my turn with the filmer, and it was right after lunch, and the jump had slowed down a bit because it got warm. We're in Mammoth,
as it
does in mid-May or whatever. Snow slowed down, back 7 first go. And I did the knuckle like you were saying, didn't see it, but like I got dummied where I wish I knew that I was decking because I was still grabbing my board almost. Like right when you let go, I was probably like 10 feet short.
No.
Oh yeah, like a boom! Like a Scotty Whitlake happy hour moment where you just get absolutely bodied.
Did you break anything or hurt anything? Or you're fine? Couple of tweaks.
Well, I got taken off on a stretcher to the hospital.
Oh, that shit sucks.
And then they were the doctor. The last thing the doctor did is gives me a bunch of like Vicodin and Valium or something like that. I'm just fucked up in the bed. And the doctor just looks at me. He's like, "You might be paralyzed, so don't move too much." And then he just leaves. And I'm just alone, and I'm fucking so fucked up. And I just start bawling my eyes out because I think my life's over.
Yeah.
And then I think I broke my tailbone. Broke my tailbone or did something to my back or something.
Yeah.
Nothing too bad. Like I was riding
tailbone
again and like
sucks though. I broke my tailbone last year and it was pretty heinous.
Maybe let's go future here.
Future.
What's the future? Okay, let's fast forward 20 years. Snowboarding maybe is still your priority, maybe not, but like where do you want to live on Earth? Like, what do you want for Jack in the future? Do you want a bunch of kids? Do you want to farm? Do you want to be a business guy?
Yeah.
Who do you want to be?
Well, I grew up on a farm. So, like, when I was little, my parents were... Well, my dad was, like, a cattle farmer and a vet. So, like, it would be sick to eventually get back to a farm. Like, maybe after I'm, like, done with all the snowboard stuff. Like, way down the line. That would be cool. But ideally, like say I stick around and I'm like in the snowboard neck of the woods. I'm like doing something that is something to someone. Ideally, I want to buy a property here and stick around here as long as I can, but shit's just expensive, you know? So that's going to be a hurdle I have to jump over. There's a lot of different options. I don't know. I really just want to like do the tricks that I have in my head on film and make like one really good part and then just figure shit out after that. Like, I don't know. For now though, I just like have this checklist that I really want to get done. And if I got even like half of them done, I'd be pretty stoked. Like I'm like, I don't know.
You're going to be chasing that checklist for the rest of your life.
I've been. It's
no,
like,
that's a never-ending goal. Talk
Yeah.
to any pro skater, snowboarder. Like, I think a lot of people have this like fictitious video part that they're going to film one day, and that you can never do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, hopefully, from being an older person talking to a younger person, hopefully you just film one really, like a couple parts that you're really proud of.
Yeah.
Because the White Dragon video part that Chris Grenier always talks about is just like, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
You'll never be fully happy. You'll be like, why did I open up weird on that backside Rodeo 7? I should have just poked it a bit more.
Just chilled.
Yeah.
Yeah. That, I want to go to Alaska. I don't want to stop snowboarding until I get to Alaska somehow. It's going to take like what's the move? You think you go there on the Marine Highway and take sleds, or you think you just have to save up and heli?
No, I think you could do either, man.
Yeah.
You can.
I guess
like,
it depends what you want to do, but it would be sick to get into bird.
You film a couple video parts around here. This would be my suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
You work really hard this summer. You save up some money.
Mm-hmm.
You figure out a project come June or July. You start brainstorming who you want to film with. You come up with an idea, a concept. You pitch that to whoever. You get a budget, a filmer for 3 to 4 months, whatever it is. Even 3 months.
Yeah.
Even just January, February, March. Or maybe February, March, April.
Yeah, those are the money months.
And then you just focus on filming for those, and then you just dive headfirst into it. You do that probably for 2 years. You get into something like natural selection, or if there's a different event or whatever at that time, you get involved in that at some level. And then within 2 years, based on how much talent I see that you have, I think that 2 years is a realistic goal for you to have a sponsor be like, hey, we're going to pay for you to go to Alaska.
Well, pretty sick.
And then at that time in 2 years, you'll be able to be like, okay, so if I'm going over a blind roll,
Well, yeah,
and there's this kind of exposure under it, I'm going to approach it like this. Which
Yeah.
right now, I think that if you jumped the gun and just were in Alaska today, I think that you would still stack some clips.
I'd probably stick on some more friendly terrain. Like Bryn, I know is fully capable of like memorizing lines and memorizing like key turns and moments that you need to do to get off of exposure that's below you. But like, I know I'm not there yet. Like I rode chocolate spines before and I was like, holy shit, I'm going to die. And that's like a 2-piece, like you just do one
It's a
turn.
2-piece.
Yeah. Like not like a 15-piece. Like, yeah.
Did you guys hike to the top, the peak of Banana Chute or whatever?
I've never ridden banana shoots, but I would ride that one. That looks fun. My friend, you know Al Spriggs?
Mm-hmm.
Last time I was there, not this year because I don't think it ever really got good enough to ride, but last year I saw him ride banana shoots pretty well and like looks pretty freaking fun.
I hiked up there,
Yeah.
I believe,
Well,
with
you just go around the
Kevin
back?
Griffin. Yeah, you go around
No
the
way,
backside.
KG.
And KG,
Gratitude.
KG took it from the top, I want to say. And I was too scared to finish the last bit of the climb.
True.
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was so young. I'm pretty sure I was riding like a 153 or 52 like soft park board.
Yeah, we need another
like a
10
Tech
cents on
9
that
kit
thing.
or something like
Yeah.
that. I don't remember if it was Griff or if it was Dave Short. Anyways, I've climbed to the top of that mountain one time and I did
Sick.
not summit. I was like, I got to almost the top
Yeah.
and I was like, fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like,
That was like when I got to the top of Chocolate Bowl, I was standing up there and I was on the radio. I think Will had the other one, and I was like, Will, I gotta go down. Like this is too scary. I'm fucked. Like there's no way I can go down this thing. And he's like, dude, it's 2 turns. I was like, okay, fuck.
communication with your mentor in those positions is so key because if they say one thing that gets you more in your head, you're out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if they say one thing,
something that's like a little bit light, like Jack, 2 turns. You've
Yeah,
seen it
yeah.
from the bottom. You got this, and then you're like,
Uh-huh.
all right. But like, if somebody that's the reason why having a good rapport with somebody out there is so important.
yeah,
To be able to
exactly.
communicate clearly,
You can
like,
tell when they're like kind of fucking with you, or like when they're kind of egging you on.
yeah,
Yeah, you gotta know what they mean.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so work really hard this summer, and you're gonna take the risk maturity course with Pat Moore, and you're gonna figure that out and dial that in, so you're dialed for next year.
Yes.
You're
and
the complete package, so that any crew would be happy to have you, because You don't want to be a hazard.
We want to be an asset.
You want to be an asset.
Yes, sir. We want to be an asset.
Yes, totally.
Yeah. Just
You got any shout outs or thank yous?
yeah, there's like too many people I should thank.
Okay, well,
but shout out to Mom at least.
There we go.
Yeah. Love
Shout
you,
out to
Mom.
Mom.
I'll get home and see you soon.
That's what we want.
Shout out to my dog, Ruger. He doesn't gonna understand that.
And then thanks to anybody who has ever helped this kid out.
Yeah,
We
straight
appreciate it.
up. It takes a village, and without my village, I would be in Grand Prairie still, probably pipe fitting.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, thank you.
I mean, gas fitters, fucking, you'd be making $200K a year.
making more than I do
Gas
now.
fitter, man. That's a
yeah.
great career.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
All right, we got 10 questions for you, Jack. Number 1, best style currently.
Best style currently. That makes me jealous. For current like POW stuff that I want to be doing, jumping and getting it, I really like Judd's style. And like he's just solid. Like he looks solid on a surfboard, solid on a skateboard, really fucking dope on a snowboard. And like he's stomp shit, no back slapping, and he's grabbing. We like that. I like Judd.
Sick.
Mm-hmm.
Good pick. All right, back in the day.
Back in the day, I'm a Nico man.
Nicholas Mueller?
Yeah,
There you go.
big time. He's
Do you have a part by him or a specific moment that you really liked?
that like fruition part at the end with that crazy song.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Yeah.
And the last clip's him kind of going down like not like an AK face, but like it's kind of like a gully with like he has like a back 7, I think, and a back 5 or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like that part's really sick.
Yeah.
I like watch it alone and it just makes me kind of tear up. Like, oh, I want to get there.
Oh man, you have
That
you
part's so
have
sick.
raw talent that puts you in a special category, but you don't have Nicholas Mueller talent.
No, no one has Nicholas Mueller talent.
No,
Yes,
nobody
fact.
does.
This
That's the
is-
thing is like there's nobody that has that talent. And the longer I've watched snowboarding and people snowboard with my own eyes, I'm like, I just don't know if that's gonna like it's not gonna happen for a while.
Yeah, him and Freddie Kalbermatten.
Good
That guy's
pick.
so sick. That the doubles clips of them in that one project are crazy. And like, is he from Sauce-Fay? Or like, I think he's from somewhere there.
I
But
don't know.
I swear it must be that Freddie. But he's fucking awesome.
I feel like Freddie was always just in Nico's shadow
Yeah.
because Nico was just like slightly better than Freddie, or not even. There's an argument to be made that like Freddie is like he's one of the greatest too, like
Yeah.
overlooked, I would say.
Oh yeah, and like people love him there. Like I remember being in stomping grounds or like Sauce-Fay 4 stomping grounds, and we're walking up that hill because like the whole town's on a crazy hill, and like the lift's at the bottom. So when you get down the mountain, you got to walk up to the place to like your Airbnb. And I remember one day I was like taking a break on the side of the road up this steep ass hill, and this super old lady was like, "What are you doing? Taking a rest?" And I was like, yeah." She's like, "Freddie would never rest. He would just walk straight up that hill." And I was like, "Oh!" Like she didn't say it, but I know she was talking about that Freddie. It's just like, what? So sick, fucking pretty badass. Something to just not be so lazy.
Don't be so lazy,
Don't be
man.
so
Be like
lazy.
Freddie.
Be like Freddie, walk up that hill.
All right, career highlights so far.
The one big air with Mark in the village, that was pretty dope. Probably like YG Snow as well.
What was the big air with Mark?
WSSF, like World Ski and Snowboard Festival in, I think it was 2018. And I guess they did that for a while, right? Like that was a thing for like many years. They did the big air in the village with people, and they would just push.
Oh yeah, since the West Beach Classic era, since like the later 90s.
Yeah, so they just push a big slushy big air jump and then invite a couple people. Like who else is in it? Like Jesse Millen was in that year, and like Frank Jobin, maybe Tyler Nicholson. But yeah, so they just a big air in the village in the springtime. The snow's all slushy and the village is packed, so there's a lot of people watching. Yeah, went pretty good for me. That was like the only big contest that I ever won.
What did you do?
I did kind of lame tricks. Like I've spun 2 to the right, which you wouldn't be able to do like now in a contest. You got to spin front side and back side as you should. But yeah, like the jump was really slushy, so not a lot of people were landing. And I did a cab triple 12 and a back triple 14. And I think Mark was trying to do a switchback 16 and a back 16, or maybe he did switchback 12 and back 16. But just like with the jump being so soupy, it was just like hard and everyone wasn't landing, and I just landed my shit like pretty solid off the bat and got lucky.
You could you ever done a 16?
Oh man, I tried like literally 40 back 16s and I landed on my feet on so many and I was always just scared of like clicking my toes. Still haven't ever landed a good one. I've landed a couple where you like land and kind of like 90 check, but like I've never like landed one and laced and clicked the toes. Like that'd be a crazy one to try in the POW.
A back 16?
Yeah, like almost like unnecessary. But
Unnecessary.
Like, unnecessary. But like I want to do some kind of triple in the POW for me.
I like that.
Uh-huh.
Torstein was the first one to do it.
Mm-hmm. Sparky did it.
Yeah, Tor's there's a good boarder.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's a good boy boarder. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's a good man.
Yeah, hanging out with him these days is special.
It's probably trippy.
Yeah, definitely a little bit trippy. Well, this isn't on the 10 questions that we got going on right now, which I should say clearly that it's presented by Skull Candy headphones. I don't know if you all noticed these fresh headphones that we're wearing right here. You can grab yourself a pair of those wireless earbuds to your right over there. What? You can take them to work tomorrow.
What?
Yeah, lace them up, dog. Skull Candy. Those are the.
Can I take the clear ones?
Oh yeah.
These ones
I
are
believe
sick.
these are the rails.
Woo.
Yes, they are.
Fucking awesome. Thanks, Jody.
Skull Candy. I don't know if everybody's noticed, but they've really got behind snowboarding.
Sure have.
A resurgence, you could say. They've always been behind snowboarding and action sports, but to me, the marketing and everything like that's been done over the last, 4 years has really resonated with me.
It's coming back.
And
it's coming back.
I'm a big fan, and I'm grateful that Skull Candy is supporting Airtime. So big love. Thank you so much. Favorite clip or part or couple clips in Brown? You like that movie a lot? Is there a part that stood out to you?
I've always been like a Nick Baden fan. I feel like, I don't know if I'm even younger than him, and we're probably the same age, but we were doing kind of the same contest at the same time. He was obviously on like a bigger level, being with like the US team and stuff. But just like watching him make his like transition from contest to backcountry and like really thriving and like obviously like that's what he should be doing. That made me really stoked. And his clips are always fucking awesome. So yeah, Nick Baden, he's like my standout guy. Like him.
Good pick. I like Baden a lot. Super nice kid. What's your stance right now? And what are your angles?
I actually never measured my stance. I always just like start with the reference, and if it feels small, I'll like slowly work it out a couple times.
You know who else does that? John Jackson.
Oh.
Never measured his stance.
Sick. But yeah, I just know that like if I measure it and it's like over 20, then I'm like, oh, it feels really wide. But I feel like realistically, I'm probably like 20 to 22, and then 9 and 9.
9 and 9.
Yeah.
Even in the backcountry?
Yeah.
You're still young, that's why.
Because I want to learn how to ride switch, Jody.
John Jay's +3.
Well.
And
okay, true.
And +3 and +18, I think.
Posy.
He's posy.
The more you know. But like I'm running a twin board too. Like I never said.
And John Jackson's filmed probably
like the hardest clips of all time.
I mean, his part in Fuck It is arguably one of the best parts. His part in Fuck It also, that same year, he filmed Art of Flight part, which is 10 minutes of footage.
Yeah, that's insane.
Is not like raw timeline. It's 10 minutes of usable edited footage. It's probably the best season anyone's ever had.
Yeah, that's
other
insane.
than maybe a Nicholas Mueller part.
I didn't realize those were the same year. That's so crazy. It's like, how do you even have that much time?
Because at the end of the sled season, which the Fuck It part's all sledding,
then
he went to Alaska.
Helicopter.
John Jackson is so sick.
He's so sick.
Fuck, I want to be sick like that. I keep being like, kind of like you're like, yeah, and like hopefully I get really good and I can unlock Nicholas Mueller. I'm kind of like, I'm still thinking that, and it's just never gonna happen.
It will. We gotta grind this summer. Next winter, they don't know what's coming.
All right, one trick that grinds your gears, other than back sevens.
Grinds my gears like it's hard for me to do, or grinds my gears like I don't like it.
Ooh, I like that. Let's do one that's annoying, you just don't like it, and one that you just suck at.
One that I suck at, that I'm working on, anything switch backside. I'm really not like I'm a very heavily cab backside person, and like I'm always trying to get better at frontside switch backside. So switchback stuff is kind of pretty challenging for me. I really want to do a switchback 10 in the backcountry. But one that really grinds my gears, I just don't like to see, is like any sort of like front tail or switch front tail same ways. Or just like any sort of like, like it should just be a lip slide. I don't like when people do it like onto the back foot.
Oh, interesting.
That one just like bugs me. I don't like
Like
it.
tail slide 270s. You just don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's like do a blunt 270. That's fine. But like don't go lip slide and go on your back foot. I don't like that one.
That's dumb.
What's dumb?
I just don't like that pick.
I don't do a blunt slide, Jody.
I do tail 270s, and this is my podcast.
Sorry.
Damn it.
That wasn't a shot
That's
at
my
you.
whole career, Jack.
I'm sorry. I don't like it.
I fucking love that you don't like it. All right. Most underrated rider.
Bryn? No.
You can't say Bryn.
Yeah. No. Someone that has no clout at all.
Who's sick that you ride with?
Who's underrated? Oh, fucking. This is actually such an easy question. Emil. Mm-hmm.
He is.
Yeah. My ex-roommate, my good coworker. We're currently painting on the same site.
What makes him underrated? What's he good at? What do you think he shines in?
Well, street. He's a street boda. He's just a French gangster. And I think that it sucks that he's French. No.
Why does it suck that he's French?
I don't know.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It is.
People just
it's
give
always been harder. Like if you're Canadian, you're already kind of fucked.
Yeah, and then you're like double fucked.
If you're French Canadian, you're double fucked because there's that language barrier.
Mm-hmm.
But unless you can just breach the gap, like Lewis, Dylan Ojo, there's certain riders that immediately were embraced. Etienne Gilbert did really well.
Yeah, even like this new wave, like Wesley and David, like Tournier, however you say it. Those kids are getting it. But yeah, Emil is fucking definitely underrated. Maybe it's because he doesn't like really be posting all that he can be on Instagram or anything, but he's fucking awesome. Hard street clips. He's a gangster.
He's really good at snowboarding.
Yeah, we love that guy.
What keeps you up at night?
Thinking I'm gonna pay off this sled.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And also my truck was keeping me up at night for so long, and then I traded it, so now I'm laughing.
There's definitely something to be said that like the next chapter that's paid off, and then you have a new set of things that stress you out, and then you realize that is a continuation of the society that we've built.
Yeah.
So it never ends. There is no the to-do list. It never ends. So just at one point, I'm saying this to myself as much as I'm saying it to you about your sled debt or whatever, is to obviously take that serious and pay it off.
Yeah.
But at the same time, try this thing of just not really giving a fuck.
Yeah, I know. It's just like my truck for me was worse because
You gotta go full office space on the situation.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't really care about the sled. Like if I pay it off this summer, sick. If it takes me 5 more, I don't give a fuck. But the truck was bad because like every time I put the key in, I'm like, please turn on. And then sometimes it wouldn't. I'm like, what is wrong? Because I don't know anything. And every time it like wouldn't turn on, somehow I'd fix it by just like hitting shit.
Oh, the old smackaroo, and then it works.
Yeah. But now that I've traded, I have this nice little Mazda truck with no check engine light, no lights on the dash that we like. So it'll do me for the summer.
All right, favorite steel boarder.
Favorite steel boarder, Jaden.
Good pick.
Yeah.
One area of your life that you would like to work on.
Money management. I'm really bad with my funds. I think there's some other areas that need work too, but this one would really benefit me. Cause like, I don't know. It'd be nice to be able to not spend all the money that I make when I'm working, just like right away.
And I take it you can't just call your mom for more money?
Like, it's not that I'm not from like a wealthy family. And it's not
That's
that
what
like,
I was getting at.
But like, it's not that like my mom wouldn't send me money if I asked her to. It's just like, I really don't want to, like, I just feel like now it's like like
at 23, get your own money.
It's like get your own fucking money. Yeah, I'd rather be just not doing anything than asking her for money.
Here's the thing about money or life. Nobody knows what they're doing.
Well, yeah, I don't know. We're just on this rock.
They did for a while.
They did.
I feel like people with money in the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, for the most part, people understood how to invest and stuff like that. And they had a general idea of where to put your money in.
Mm-hmm.
Now in the new world,
It's all
I don't
spun
even
out.
know if Canada is going to be afloat in a couple years. It just keeps going like this.
Yeah, people hate it here. They're all leaving.
Well, dude, it's insane.
I
It's
know.
the most expensive. I heard it's like the worst
Yeah,
it's
it's fucked.
ever been in every single department, everything across the board. Taxes are insane. I paid taxes this year. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's like that's should lead me to a raise right away. It's like we got new liquor tax, new smoke tax.
Dude,
More
and the
carbon
carbon
tax.
tax and all this stuff and all these other taxes and on top of taxes and they tack the taxes and there's so many taxes.
What do you want me to do, Dave?
Totally. All right. One thing on your bucket list you have yet to do,
Bucket
Jack
list.
McDough.
I want to get a clip or a photo of me just like turning with the dog. That's kind of a lame one, but I want it.
No, wait,
I
dude.
want
The
it.
bucket list is for you. It's
for
not for
me.
other people.
Yeah, yeah. Fuck you guys. This is my thing.
This is my thing. I want a photo of my dog doing a turn.
Yeah. I always want to be like, yeah, just slashing beside him as he's running down a hill or something.
How much do you
awesome.
love your dog?
More than I love snowboarding.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't realize it until recently when me and Bryn were all fucked up and I was like, because he's got a cat, and I was like, would you quit snowboarding like if your cat needed, well, like just like some stupid thing, but like for your cat to save its life, would you quit? And he was like, fuck no. I was like, oh, true.
And would you quit snowboarding for your dog?
I guess. I like him. He's a good little guy. He's my buddy.
All right. Last question. Who is the GOAT?
Nico. I don't know if I have another goat. He just seems so sick. And I really like that he like just speaks his mind. I don't care if it's like right or wrong, what his thoughts are, but he's just fucking sick.
You got any final words?
Yeah, fucking thank you snowboarding. Thank you Jody. Thank you everyone that has helped me get to where I am today. Thanks Double D for employing me. Thanks to Max Janke for making these new laser holes. They're way better than the big hole. If you guys can see that on the camera there, and I can breathe even more free. Over there. Yeah. I don't know. I love everybody.
You heard him there. He loves lamp.
Love lamp.
All right, dog. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Jody.
Yep.
Hell
Peace.
yeah. Peace.